First time?
Fucking shit, this fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow, this fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Fucking shit, this fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow, this fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Fucking shit, this fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow, this fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Fucking shit, this fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow, this fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Holy fucking shit, this fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow, this fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Holy fucking shit, this fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow, this fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Holy fucking shit, this fucking timeline.
The Ciderhaus Rules is a 1985 novel by American writer John Irving. The title refers to a list of rules the workers are supposed to follow. However, none of them can read, thus remain unaware of the rules, which have been posted for years. Welcome to the Ciderhaus. I am your host, Mihai Shogor, and that is a very fine cider you are not drinking. Today I am joined by the usual suspects, Mr. Michael Scott.
Howdy. How's everyone doing today?
Doing pretty good. Along with Michael Scott, we got John Ward.
Sup, y'all?
No,
That's my new thing. I'm going to take it for a spin. Kale likes it. Introducing.
Hi, How's everyone doing on this beautiful
Sup,
Thursday?
y'all?
What he said. Anyways,
We got to come up with a catchphrase for you.
Yeah.
Holly's mad at me.
okay.
She does seem like she's mad at all of us.
I'm not
She's,
mad.
yes,
I'm just
I didn't
tired.
mean to
does.
separate myself out
She
from
seems
that.
like she's
Let me
very
just be
mad.
tired. Let me just be tired in peace. Okay? I'm just tired. It's fatigue. Fatigue.
Well, Donald Trump did it
Not to
behind.
forget about him, we also got Jack Kettner. Before I do forget,
I almost did too.
Jack Kettner.
Maybe that can be your catchphrase. Call it, I'm mad. You can say that before every show.
Oh,
I'm tired of being tired.
it just worked. She got even. You should have seen her face.
Yeah.
Of course, we got the chat. How's everyone doing tonight?
It's a scary chat.
What's going on, chat? What's going on, Circle Jerk, with the 6-month white member badge? Oh, that's a good time to remind you that Ciderhaus now has its own channel at Cider Haus show Shshow. You hear that? You're hearing that air a little bit.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know. We'll figure that out in a second. But why don't you somebody else describe that, and I'll come over there and look at that. The new channel. Somebody plug it.
So, if you guys want to watch Ciderhaus, but not on John Ward's channel, which I know you guys are probably unsubscribing because you guys want to see him, not us. It's okay.
Yeah.
Then head over to Ciderhaus. We changed our name a little bit. Lord of the Re.
Lord of the Re. No gilded notification. I'm so lonesome. I could cry. Cover will be done soon. There you go, boy. That's a great song. John, should I just email you the tracks or send them to the Gilded 3CC? He just left the room. I'll get an answer for you on that one, Lord of the Re, when he gets back.
But yeah, so we recently changed the name to Ciderhaus. If you guys like that, it's a little German.
It's a little bit of the German
little
effect
different.
going on.
But yeah, I don't know if you guys like that. But please subscribe to the new YouTube channel. That'll be a good vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll probably move on eventually to just streaming from there and not on John Ward's channel, but it's a process. We're just testing things out.
Yeah, just chipping away.
Please
building
subscribe. Only my family subscribe right now. Please subscribe. I'm just kidding.
It's pretty subtle. I doubt you can hear it on the other end, but I think it's something above us. Some kind of like monthly cleaning or some shit. I don't know.
Damn.
I don't know, but hopefully you don't hear too much background noise. What were you guys talking about?
Talking about moving the Ciderhaus over to its own channel, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Ciderhaus has its own channel. We have a new thing on Ciderhaus too, which is worth mentioning. So Lord of the Re Super Chat, which did pop up, right?
Yeah, he wanted me to ask you, should he email you the tracks, send them to the Gilded 3CC?
Probably email is better at this point if you don't have it. I do need to get into the Gilded. I got an announcement to make about Gilded, but not for right now. But at 20 super chats, and they don't have to be any particular amount. It can be, I think the minimum is 99 cents or whatever. But at 20 super chats, we have added to the show Ciderhaus the Russian helmet of shame, which we know needs a name. But if you go to that guy, that's this bad boy right here. Axel von Becker broke it in on Tuesday, so also worth mentioning. On Tuesdays, Mihai's going to be taking over. There's going to be 2 shows a week now. If we hit 20 super chats of any amount today, Mihai has embraced and accepted the duty of being the one who will chug this rapidly warming up Coors Light out of this helmet, full leather padding and all. And we haven't cleaned it since Tuesday, I don't think so.
Somebody had to bear the cross, and it's almost like an added punishment that I have to sit there and watch the blue mountains slowly turn white.
Yeah, it makes you want to rush through this
Unless
show,
you guys want to just get it done early and just start super chatting a lot, that'd be cool too.
Until we come to a better punishment / ward, that's what we're doing.
Okay,
All right.
fine with me.
Next time it'll be one of you guys, or maybe me.
I'm sure.
No,
I'm sure.
not me.
I'm sure
Sorry.
it will.
So Russian helmet of shade isn't actually supposedly some old Russian helmet too. So God knows what happened in that thing. There's a little some like reddish, pinkish stains material, possibly brain, a little piece of bone I pulled out of there.
Probably a lot of radiation or something.
Yeah, you're gonna be drinking like Putin's grandfather's skull fragments or something
From Chernobyl.
from the radioactive.
Yep, radioactive.
Why was this helmet so cheap? It was a steal.
And now
Anyway.
we're all gonna die.
I wonder if there's lead.
Most of
Oh,
Probably every and anything in that helmet.
well, no.
I could use a little more craziness.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can everybody calm down? This is far too. Colley's mad at everybody. She put a weird vibe in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll call it. Last week we had an icebreaker. Do you want to get started with an icebreaker, or do you just want to delve right into the topics?
Oh, I mean, if you guys have an icebreaker, I'd do an icebreaker.
Circle Jerk says real world champions have a paid subscription to help fund John's sex dungeon. Yes, it's expensive.
True.
A lot of operational costs involved in that dungeon. A lot of paid staff, health insurance. You wouldn't believe what it costs to employ people in a sex dungeon these days.
The abortionist.
Yeah, now it's dark. It was light and fun for a moment there, Mihai.
I'm talking about Ciderhaus.
Oh my gosh.
How about this?
And he brought it all together.
How about this for the icebreaker?
It all comes full circle. Go ahead, Jack.
Jack.
Oh,
I think it
Michael.
was Mike.
It was Mike.
Go ahead, Michael.
What? Everyone's favorite flavor of ice cream. Keep it simple. Keep it short. To the point.
Favorite flavor of ice cream?
Yep.
Okay, mint chocolate chip. It's delicious.
Yes. Based.
Fuck anyone who says.
Oh
that
my
tastes like
gosh.
toothpaste. You don't know what you're talking
You're a mint chocolate chip supremacist?
That's his hill. He's dying on that one.
You not only are saying it's your favorite, but you will kill all others who don't agree.
Yes.
Jack, I could not agree more.
Vanilla, get the hell out of here. Chocolate, get the hell out of here. Strawberry, nuh-uh.
You got his volume up, by the way. Why is he so quiet today?
Sorry.
Yeah, I might be willing to make a concession to chocolate chip cookie dough, but nobody else.
Okay.
None of the others.
Butter Pecan says Lady Iron Venus. Wow.
Peppermint.
That's an aggressive username. I might take your advice. I just won't argue with someone with that username. I don't know, chocolate?
Ugh, no.
What's wrong? Yeah. I feel like the real
Mint
question
chocolate chip is the best, and the best
Nah, I
ice
bet
cream
it's
is from the creamery.
more
so.
interesting
not
reviewing
even
question
true.
is chocolate or vanilla. That's where
Vanilla.
If I have
you
to,
really
vanilla.
start to learn about people.
if I have to, it would be a swirl mix of both.
Okay,
If I had
so you can't. You have to choose chocolate.
Michael,
or
if
vanilla.
you
fine.
didn't eat
Hypothetical
breakfast,
oils,
how would you feel?
if
We
you
can't
what?
start this.
What do you mean? I did eat breakfast today.
We
Yeah.
can't start this.
Wait, what do you
Chocolate or vanilla?
mean? If you didn't eat breakfast today, Michael, how would you feel?
Probably good because I'm losing weight.
He beat it. He beat it. He beat the test.
You beat the system.
John, would you accept chocolate vanilla swirl as a potential answer?
No.
We just
No, man.
established this, Jack.
Yeah, I just said that, Jack.
Oh yeah.
Nah, one or the other. We make strong decisions here.
I'm passionately in the vanilla camp.
Are you guys really?
Yeah.
Vanilla for sure. Vanilla's good. Vanilla's good.
That's
Do you,
weak.
do you,
It's
do you
just
have any
good.
toppings
It's
onto
just
it?
good, and especially because I mean, when do you ever have vanilla ice cream alone? You usually having it with like a pie or some chocolate sauce on top. Or,
Yeah, because it's basic. Like you, Collie.
Okay.
He was just afraid to make fun of me because he knew what came after that.
What?
He had to change it last second.
No, I just.
Michael, you bullying the weak link. You try to find the weakest kid in the room and then you bully them.
Oh, then that would be Jack.
Oh shit!
Said in the room.
What about you, chat? Chocolate or vanilla? Circle Jerk says chocolate. Sarah Trixler. Oh, finally the X chat is working. That's good to see. Vanilla all the way. Vanilla, chocolate. I'm chocolate, frankly.
I don't eat anything outside of mint ice
I
cream.
don't think the
I'm so
question
serious.
is like, so if you were going to say what kind of ice cream would you have with a piece of apple pie, then I'd say vanilla.
Probably.
Because chocolate would be fucking weird.
Well, I wouldn't put it past you. Honestly, wouldn't be surprised if
If
I was
I'm
having
just
apple
eating-
pie and you just
Vanilla
specifically
is
for
so
chocolate ice
boring,
cream.
it's literally become synonymous with boring. Like, that's vanilla.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
if I'm just eating ice cream, it's mint. If I'm doing anything else, it's.
Is eating ice cream white supremacist, though? I mean, it's certainly...
is eating
it's-
vanilla ice cream.
It's mocking the existence of everybody without lactose tolerance.
Yeah, that's
Good.
true,
All those
John. At one
intolerant
point,
lactose bigots out there.
Get rid of the weak links.
yeah, that is true, John. Like a couple years back, there were a bunch of ADL articles about how milk or drinking milk in public is racist.
I drink a gallon.
So when
of,
you freeze it, it's like extra cold racist.
Wasn't that a response to like the challenge of kids going into the grocery store and just chugging a gallon of milk right off the rack, though?
The gallon challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried that? It is impossible.
I can imagine. I have a friend that every year, actually, it should be coming up. You might have met him before. He was at my show. But every year, he live streams himself trying to chug a gallon of milk.
Has he
in
ever
less
even
than
come
30
close?
minutes. He gets close, but he throws up every time before
It's
he gets there.
impossible.
Yeah, no, he can't.
It can't be done.
I mean,
Yeah.
One of the- he did chocolate milk last year, too, and it just made it
Ugh.
worse.
And that's so much
Yeah.
thicker.
I drink about a gallon of milk in 2 days.
Yeah, it's
So,
what
like,
was
I
it?
go
30? Is
through-
it 30 minutes? Is the challenge?
I believe so.
You know what we're talking about? This is like a thing. It's a meme.
Oh, you can't.
We're gonna get sued by some 12-year-old who watches the show and tries it. Don't try it.
No, fucking some 12-year-old probably has like the copyright to it.
Mihai,
You
Like
try
the
to
cinnamon-
chug a gallon of milk
like
in
the
30
cinnamon
minutes, and you
challenge.
cannot do it without vomiting. It's impossible.
yeah, Mihai,
feel
what
like
was
I
the name of
could.
that
No, you
one
can't. I
challenge?
I drink so much
where-
milk.
I guarantee you cannot.
What was the name of that challenge where people would go into supermarkets and lick ice cream and then put the cap back on?
That sounds like
I don't know. I remember that though.
That's the end of the icebreaker.
That sounds like a John thing to do.
That was an ice cream breaker. Hey yo.
How about it? Well, let's go. Oh, not that one. Let's go to this one here, and let's see. What do we want to talk about first?
Guys, do you like the title? I came up with the title.
It's a bird. It's a drone.
I
It's
wanna
a title I'm not a fan of.
It makes me.
Yeah.
It makes me.
Topics. I wasn't
going
gonna
to
say that.
Watch
I
the
thought
last
Jack
episode.
made the title, and so I was actually about to compliment it, but then you said that.
Cully, I quite like the title. You go.
All right.
That's a
Thanks.
Superman reference. Should we go right into Superman?
Well, it's
Yes.
supposed to be
Well,
like.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't even.
If you
read-
want.
This-
Wow,
What?
Double
That was an accident?
entendre.
What do you mean?
It was the drone part that I brought up. Like Jack had not said he was going to talk about Superman, or you had not said you were going to talk about Superman. when
Superman
I-
is my topic.
Okay,
Let's get that very clear
No one
here.
had said anything about Superman when I put the title in. But now it's a double entendre.
I mean,
That's me magic is what happened right
I
there.
feel like Superman is a good.
fate.
Superman's a good palate cleanser. We have to start off with a hard hitting one.
Okay, sure.
You
I have
know,
no opinion.
What's a hard-hitting one? Pull that
the
program back
drones.
up.
The drones. Kale and I's topic. We share
I
that
don't have too
topic.
much to say, but I was like, I
Is
have
the
to say.
program coming back up, or what's going on over
well,
there?
Well, Dan
Well, I've
Crenshaw's
heard- hold on.
is the first topic.
Let me
that comes
explain
up.
what just happened. I got like 5 different topics at
know.
once, and I was pulling up all the links, and then had to
saw the
re-pull up all
pain
the
in your
links,
eyes.
and then had to redo all the links.
I
So
saw your face, and I was like, "Now's the time to fuck with them.
thanks.
Now's the
Here's
time to
your
make it
program.
harder." So the drone. Well, that was our show on Tuesday, but yeah, like
Oh.
it's still going on.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Whatever was
didn't know.
happening has gotten a little quieter all of a sudden. That's weird.
I just think that I don't know. I guess the bluff of it is I think that a good majority of them
Well,
are
so
Chinese.
Kale and Michael, you were in here on Tuesday. What do you think the drones are? What is
Yeah.
your theories?
I don't really have that many opinions. I care probably more about people's reactions to the drone. I don't really have that many.
I would
Taking the safe road,
I
where she
would-
doesn't have to be responsible for any of her own theories or projections.
Oh,
I would
that's
tend to
responsibility.
I would tend to agree with her in a way. I think the
That you don't
drone-
have any opinions. You
No.
agree with her
Well,
on
no, I have opinions
the fact
about
that
all
she
of it.
does not indeed
Okay.
have opinions.
That's not what I said.
I think I think a good portion of them are at least Chinese because a lot of our bases are near Chinese. Like China has bought facilities near our military facilities, and these drones coincidentally are coming from these Chinese facilities. So to me, that at least a good portion of them. Dan Bongino was talking about it today on his shows. On his show, I trust some of his sources because he's been correct on quite a few things before, and his sources are saying the same thing Mayorkas is. A significant portion of these are, in my belief, Chinese.
When you mean Chinese, do you mean like created by China, owned by the Chinese government?
Probably,
Just like
yeah.
Chinese parts, but it's American.
Well,
Like FUBU, but
No.
FC
Yeah.
BC.
No, they probably
For China, by China?
probably shipped. They probably created the parts in China, shipped them over here separately. All got sent to these facilities that the Chinese government owns that are all coincidentally near our facilities, and then they piece them back together. And then
Well,
But
I also wasn't here on the last show, and I disagree. I think the fact that the Biden administration is lying about them and not shooting them down makes me come to the conclusion that it's probably because they belong to the government and are just testing them
Okay,
out.
Jack,
agree.
It's the
that
easiest
was the next
explanation.
thing that I was going to get to. The fact you actually brought that up. Thank you. The fact that we cannot trust our government at all to even tell us the basic things, I think is the more important takeaway from this, other than the drones themselves. Like the drones themselves, like. Yeah, there should be some fear there. But the fact that we can't trust our government at all to tell us anything about this topic is what is actually the bigger story
to be
here.
fair, though, when has the government been like transparent on anything?
Well, that's the whole point. The government's not transparent.
I do think I think America owns it.
Now,
The
that
question. So without trying to guess whose drones they are, do you think the United States government knows whose drones they are?
Yes,
No,
Because
I
they're
think so.
pretending they don't. Do you think they do?
I think so.
I think they know.
Yes.
Okay,
You
no.
think no?
I think that the government knows where a portion of them are from. Again, I think a portion of them are Chinese. A portion of them are probably the U.S.'s own drones.
They would be shot down immediately.
I'm not saying that like each topic is like I think it's a mix of both. I think it's a mix of government drones and Chinese drones. There are no Iranian drones, though. That's the stupidest take from this. Everything revolving around Iran is
Chinese drones
stupid.
not being shot down. You think we're not? They're like, well, they're not ours. But
do you want to know
we
what
don't
I think
who
it
they
is?
Could be.
Do you want to know what I think it is?
I think you think it's Chinese drones.
Well, no, I think that the reason why the Chinese drones are not getting shot down is because the Biden administration, their approach to intelligence, the TTPs they've been following, is let the government watch these machines. And then assess the ability that the Chinese government is doing from those, like assess what the Chinese government is using those machines for from that, their maneuvers and that sort of thing. So the government, like same thing with that hot air balloon. We didn't shoot the hot air balloon down because we wanted to study how China uses it. I think that's the same take that the Biden administration's doing here. They want to see how these drones maneuver so we can gather TTPs.
That's like a crazy
tactics,
risk. Like, what if we all died? What if we all died because of this drone?
Well, no,
I
think that's a stupid. I think it's a stupid take. I think it's a stupid
that the
way
drones that we don't know anything about would kill us.
No. I think it's stupid that the federal government wouldn't shoot the drones down. I don't care about the tactics, techniques, and procedures. But what I'm telling you is from experience.
Why
within
would
that
they
field,
not shoot
within
them
that
down?
field? Because the Biden government, again, this whole administration has been whether I agree with it or not.
They did shoot down the weather.
But after they studied it and they let it go over half of America first.
They're studying the
All of
drones.
America.
That's what I was just
This
saying.
is a drone study?
They're studying how the drones
Is
are
this
used.
drones 420?
Because the Biden administration has a history, whether we agree with that it's gone far enough or not, or whether we agree with it or not, they have a history of using, of still being aggressive towards China. Again, I don't think it goes far enough, but the Biden administration kept the tariffs on China. They have been combative towards China. So I think it is, again, a style I don't agree with, but I'm telling you what the thought process is from the administration, studying.
Yeah, okay. Quick thing from Dr. Tetanus, since he's asking in the chat. My chat seems to be bugging on my phone. Did my member gifts go through? Yes, scrolling up, Dr. Tetanus, they did go through. Thank you for the 5 memberships.
Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see that go through. You saw it go through?
Yeah, in chat, like Snuggle Struggle, Honest Save, Jago Dragon, Drew the Dogman, John Strives, they are all gifted with a membership.
Oh.
Thank you.
Captain Caplock, I do agree that, again, they know where the ones that are not American made are from. But again, they won't tell us, and that's the thing. So we're left to assume.
Oh, I do see it there on your specifically YouTube.
Yeah, I scrolled up
there's
to it there, but
there's
I can't
another super chat from the Rubicon. So I stumbled here. It's not on the other app now. Yeah, there is.
There we go. That one came up.
Rumble has been crashing on us so consistently in the same way no matter what we do that we've kind of dumped it until I have like a week to sit down and focus on it. So I know there's a lot of Rumble fans out there, but it just became irritating to have to restart this every time on the platforms that actually do work. I know a lot of people want to move away from YouTube. So we have Pilled going if you really don't want to do X. But X is also quite reliable. And so that's on at Not John Ward. You can watch it there. But we'll get Rumble fixed as soon as we can. It is not us, though, I promise you.
Yeah.
So wait, do you think America knows what's happening? Or do you think we only know half of the truth?
So,
the government, by the way.
The government, I think they know almost everything about what's going on. What the government is doing in brief speak here is the government knows that half of these drones, let's just say half for simplistic purposes, are Chinese drones leaving these Chinese facilities near these American government facilities and are spying on us. What we're doing is sending up the other batches of drones to spy on them. The reason why the government won't tell us what's going on is because the way that the Chinese drones are getting studied is likely classified. So the government feels it can't tell the people because the studying techniques we're using are classified. However, I think that they should tell the people at least where they're from. Okay. But again, that's the government taking their classifications too far, in my opinion, and this has been consistent now for years, and not trusting the American people with any information whatsoever.
I think I kind of, like, sometimes when I ask questions, it's like, because I actually don't know the answer, but sometimes it's like, for a path of logic that I'm trying to follow.
Hey, will it bother you guys if I smoke this giant absurd pipe
No.
right in front of you?
It's just
No, if it was a cigarette, yes.
it's just a
I can do both.
No, it's okay.
it's just a
Wait, but the reason why I brought that up is so you think America knows what's going on, but you trust America to believe or the government that it's such a controlled environment they don't have to worry about the drones they don't own?
well, no,
They
well,
won't kill us?
Well, exactly.
Well,
No.
They're the size of SUVs, is what I've heard, which blows
But you've got,
my mind.
but you got at the point that I'm making. The
That's not that
criticism
crazy,
I'm
though.
making.
No. Well, it blows my mind that would be in the air and they wouldn't think it would kill us.
Well, that goes towards the criticism I'm making, which is the way that the Biden administration is choosing to deal with these, aka study them first, eliminate later, is stupid. They should be eliminated first, studied later.
I think there are too many people who are behind that decision-making process that would allow something that stupid to happen.
I disagree. Again, the hot air balloon that went over half of America.
Hot air, but then I don't.
It was a high-level balloon. That is a huge security threat. Not as much as the southern border. The southern border is our biggest threat. But that was a massive, massive security threat. And the Biden administration, again, the way they went about it is study it and then shoot it down. It should have been shot down and then study the equipment that they could get off of it. But instead, they let it go over half of America, let China pick up all this information, all these American homes on the West Coast.
Went over all of America.
I thought it got shot down over like Michigan.
No,
like
it got shot down over the Atlantic Ocean.
Well, then there you go. It's even worse. So.
I don't know too much about the drone thing. I'm not gonna lie. I will say though, I think America owns it. They just don't want to say what it is. Like that's just the easier thing for me to believe.
Again, I think
it happens all the time.
I think it's half of the situation, not the other.
So what
half.
about the sniffing out nuclear material theory? Did you hear that?
I've heard something about that, but like I don't know who would be sniffing out nuclear material.
Iran?
America?
It's back to
With
Iran.
some other foreign actor smuggled nuclear material to the U.S. and those drones are sniffing it.
Yeah, that makes more sense to me, and it'd be easier for.
I don't.
But so I'm not expecting the government to look me in my face and be like, "Stay calm. There's nuclear stuff like around you," because I'm not going to be calm. Like that's usually their excuse.
Well,
for not
honestly, I
telling
think the government should be
things.
telling us this. Again, brutal honesty is what I want from the government.
Transparency, but I'm not going to be like totally gung ho. Like you didn't tell me exactly what's going on. I mean,
No, I don't want to know exactly, but like the government, for instance, hides about 80% of the truth from us right now.
How do you know it's 80%?
I'm just making up a number, 80, 90, whatever. They hide the vast majority of the information
He knows
from
because he's
us.
just making it up, Kale.
And
okay.
just
for the future,
and I want it closer to like only the things that again, collection techniques. That 30-40%. Tell the people the majority of the situation instead of keeping everything hidden because everything's tied. No. You can tell the people most of every situation
So I
going
guess my
on.
point here's my problem with that, and I'm not saying I'm anti-transparency. I'm very pro-transparency. If you don't know something, then you don't even know what 100% quote unquote would be.
Well,
you don't know. You just don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So I'd prefer transparency, but I'd also prefer if we just weren't giving obvious lies. Like if you're gonna lie, make the lie make sense.
well, yeah.
That's my problem. Just like make it make sense because I can't verify it anyway.
To me, I think it's
sometimes
quite
I
obvious
can.
that some of
So
these are
you'd
at
be
least
happy with
Chinese.
lies from the government as long as they were nice lies that made you feel good?
No, that's not my point. My point is like, how do I even know that they're lying except for the fact that it's so obvious? Like that's ridiculous to me. If they were telling you the truth, you wouldn't.
What do you guys even think they're lying about?
Again, with
That they don't know.
no,
Which is a dumb lie.
the government knows. They're not necessarily lying. The government usually never lies.
Oh my God.
Clip that.
They
Put a marker
Someone
down.
write down that timestamp.
Yeah.
they admit that, which is different. It's
You can
almost
lie by
worse.
omission. You can lie by omission.
Well, yeah, but it's not like the normal kind of, oh, this hat right here is blue. Well, it's obviously red. It's not it's subversion.
Are you kidding? They're out there right now being like, that dude with a dick is a woman. And I'm like, I have eyeballs. The hat is not blue. It's red. And they're like, yes, it's blue. Same. Is that not what they're doing? Is that not exactly that kind of thing?
I mean, touche.
Just saying.
But
He could be
to me,
he could be colorblind. He could possibly not be lying. There's that possibility.
From experience, I think again the Biden administration knows what's going on. A good portion of these are Chinese drones, and we're studying instead of shooting them down. That's what it is.
Do any of these Chinese drones have egg rolls that they?
What makes you think that they're Chinese, though? I don't.
Yeah, why Chinese?
Because 17, it was reported in the news today. It's actually an article that I hopefully linked. It's a Washington Post article. I'm not sure if it went specifically into the topic, but it.
Wapo!
There was a article that came out today that talked about how 17 of the facilities that have seen these drones are U.S. military facilities, and right near every single one of these military facilities, China had recently bought land.
So,
And the drones had came from this land
I'll ask a
that was
question.
bought.
So, like, if these were American-owned military drones, wouldn't they be by military bases?
Well,
It doesn't necessarily negate the fact that they're possibly
Only China has that sort of operational power in the U.S.
right.
U.S. military can only operate off U.S. military bases, but China, they're everywhere.
well,
But here's the thing:
Chi-
we're saying that they're lying already. The premise is that they are liars.
Yes.
like to me,
Yes,
what
go
makes
on.
it
So I'm just saying what might make more sense, not by their own rules and standards.
Is that the liars are lying?
Yes, the liars may be lying. So
The liars might be lying, Michael.
So they might be using
okay,
their
but I
own
also
drones
trust.
on their
But I
own
also
property.
trust.
That's why they have to keep
I also
it alive.
I also trust some of the sources that have been coming out that have been proven to be
Like the
correct
Washington
before.
Post.
No, like the sources. I'm just gonna say it point blank. Period. Dan Bongino has been right about a lot of this stuff when it comes to the industry, the secure, like the apparatus of the intelligence agencies.
Question to you. So how would they know that it's Chinese? How would they know it's Chinese? Because you can't fly anything. You can't fly a Temu 40-cent drone that far in the sky and it not get shot down
You
immediately.
can't.
I can't. I can't
Well,
fly the drone at all.
Again,
How would they know
go-
it's Chinese?
how would the intelligence officials know that the intelligence operation
They have
that's being
very narrow
collected
lights.
against them is
Their lights were like
Chinese
their
intelligence?
headlights were like
That's
slits.
crazy. That's crazy. That's a crazy take.
No,
You're right. That could be a lot of different Asian countries.
again, I'm going off the premise the intelligence agency knows. We are not debating on whether the intelligence
No, I
agencies know or
agree.
not.
They know, but you're just saying that they know a very specific claim.
How would they know it's Chinese versus
okay, well,
Russian?
Okay, fair enough. So we have seen these
about to say
drones
Chinese
before.
characters.
No, we've seen Chinese drones before. We know that China's bought this land. Likely, these officials who I am trusting, as well, saw them take off.
They'd be shot down before we knew they were Chinese drones.
again,
Dr.
No, but
Tetanus,
that's
the
what I'm trying to get
peripherous
at.
chick
No,
comes at it
that's what
again.
I'm- that's
Thank you very much, sir.
That's what I'm.
Chi-coms.
Chi-coms. Oh,
Chi-coms.
That's what I'm trying to get at, though, Kale. The different techniques being used by this administration that I
No,
don't agree with.
no, but-
They will let them fly.
Hold on
so
one
that
second,
we
hold on one-
collect intel on that.
Just a reminder, that is 3 out of 20 on the super chat goal. 3 out of 20. So
Oh
we
my
still got
gosh, that's the number. We're
still
getting
got a ways to
there.
go. Not
So,
really
I don't-
following ahead schedule here, but we got time still. Let's see what
I
happens.
don't know how else I could break. Like in my opinion, I don't know how else I could break it down. Maybe this would be my better take. So, you can work for a government and not necessarily be the Biden administration. Like things
Yeah.
have to go farther up the chain before we can actually blame Joe Biden. Like if you have a bad experience with a police officer, you're not going to blame Governor Shapiro or like a state trooper. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I feel like the people who would be in charge of shooting down the drone.
No, then that's
as
not
soon
true.
as-
You're
I'm
not going to
let me-
blame
okay,
Derek
let me
Chauvin.
finish my take.
Who's
Just let me finish my
okay,
sentence, please.
Okay.
If people are coming, if there's a drone coming off the ground
Mm-hmm.
that is not like that the government knows nothing about, or FAA or anything like that, the people who would be in charge of shooting it down would do it. It wouldn't be
No.
Joe Biden told me not
No.
to do it.
Who was the one who had to go through? Okay, remember.
A drone is not the same as a hot air balloon. I'm sorry.
But I also know, like,
They're not the same. Like it's not as concerning.
Who's the one who's in the military?
Ash
Who
B,
knows the
thank you
important
very
thing?
No,
much.
okay, then that's-
Super
oh, wait,
Christmas.
okay. That was
Thank you
really
very
nice.
much.
Ashby.
What's going on, Ash? Good to see.
Thank
That's I'm assuming that's the Ash we know from Uncensored America. So
Okay.
What's
Yep.
going on?
Wait, okay.
good
So
guy.
what we're not going to do is argue from like I know this because I'm part of this because I will never be in the armed forces.
yeah.
So that's just something you're always going to beat me at. Also, I thought that's something we're not going to talk about on the show.
I mean,
so I'm just saying. No, I'm not trying to beat you with anything. It's just like you are in something. It doesn't really matter what he's in. And you're
Can I
always
ask
gonna
you
use
guys a
that
question for
overlay.
the sake of everybody watching the show right now?
Yes.
We could change the topic.
What are we arguing about exactly?
What do you
great
mean?
question.
What are we arguing
Okay,
about?
anyway,
He
back
has a
to
very
the-
specific
Institutional
claim.
trust.
Well, no,
It's very
Kale,
clear what we're
Kale,
arguing
I can
about.
explain. I can explain this to you. It's very easy. It's not.
Well, let me hold
a
on. I feel like we
butter
are
bar-
getting caught up in the very surface of the drone conversation without actually talking about the drone conversation at all.
Not necessarily.
I
If you
agree.
think they're
Mihai,
Chinese,
she wants to know about targeting,
if you
and I want
think-
to inform her that a butter bar cannot
Okay.
give the
Just keep doing what you're doing.
cannot give the fire on that when it's a stateside thing. Like the thing is, these are taking off from the state side. You can they cannot just point a gun up and go boom. Like that there has to be.
I don't think so.
There
I
has
didn't
to
think they
there
could.
has to be clearances. A lot of clearances have to be gone through first, because if you have just a butter bar,
But they
saying
did-
to his
but-
troop,
but they
shoot
did-
down,
That's-
that could just be
very-
some random
that
drone.
very
Is it
well
not
said
implying
plays
by the
what-
fact they're not getting shot down
That
means
they
they
are
are
American.
cleared by American air traffic
No.
control?
No,
Yes.
but
No,
he thinks
there's-
they're cleared by American air
No,
traffic control.
I don't think so.
Because the Biden administration is choosing to study
Well,
Chinese drones.
I
That's your
guess-
point.
well,
But
yeah,
my
I
point
guess
is, it's like,
technically
that's just, it's harder to believe that. That's my point.
Okay.
That's a more grand conspiracy than America's doing something that the American public that they don't want the American public to know, so they're just not telling us. That's just easier to believe. That's
Yeah.
my point.
Yeah.
And it's like we are arguing about something pretty clear. He has a very specific take that China is flying SUVs in the sky. That's like the entire story. So that's what we're talking about. If you want to talk about the details, which I care more about, are people's reactions. Like, I'm surprised that Biden thinks he can say we don't know what this is and we're supposed to remain calm.
Well,
That's a different
just,
story to
That's
me.
just
Yeah,
goes
Just
back-
let me
agree with Colin.
respond. Let me respond. Oh, let me respond to the chat quickly because you're talking about. So the Ciderhaus channel, you cannot have memberships on a channel till you have 500 subscribers. We're at like 100, so you cannot subscribe yet to the new Ciderhaus channel if that's what you were trying to do. Karen Z, you should be able to get a membership on the John Ward channel, but as soon as we get to 500 subs over on Ciderhaus on YouTube, we will definitely do that. There'll be
Go subscribe.
probably free
Yeah.
and fun and give you cool colors and weird shit you can do and custom emojis. All right, that's my answer to the chat.
Either way, we appreciate the thought.
Skunk 12 says Axel $, weak link. Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah, but
clicking that? You just clicking this?
Colin,
Oh, I thought he was saying
game-
actual. He's the weak link.
Yeah, but
Access
Colin, getting back to what
rating.
you said, I
Oh,
agree.
that's possible too. That's possible.
Yeah, but Colin, if I agree with you, it's not that absolute transparency is what we should strive for, but because it could cause mass panic. But when the Biden administration is so clearly caught in a lie, like just doubling down makes them look worse.
I agree. That's why I was saying
it
before.
hurts-
It's just
it
like
hurts trust.
it's the obvious lying that gets me. It's the obvious lying because how often can we fact check the government? But it's literally in our eyes. Like people are looking up, they're seeing this, and then
Are
they're
they
like,
though?
Well, that's what people are saying. Like people
Well,
are saying
but
that they're
also
seeing this
that-
in the
There's a lot
sky.
of ground level reporting of people just taking pictures of the drones, like recording the drones, etc.
it could be AI. To bring up
That's
just
another thing.
to
After
be
the-
devil's
after
advocate,
the-
it could just be AI. All this
That's
could
not
be
even
fake.
to be AI's advocate. AI and devil are synonymous on this show.
Could just
Honestly
be
true.
airplanes and helicopters.
No,
No,
I don't-
no,
Well, for
because-
some people, I think it is.
For the old and blind, yes.
I mean, I don't know.
Dr.
Let me
Tetanus,
try
a
and pull-
conversation about the conversation will further future conversations about the conversation. Sir, sounds like a Chi-Com enjoyer. Yeah, so we've gotten a bit metaphysical here. Although
I just-
a little
I
bit
don't know,
behind
I
it.
don't know.
I just think from seeing what the government has done in the past, it wouldn't be shocking if they just want to study how China uses these drones because they think that there's a greater advantage being gained from that. Because say we go to war with China in Taiwan, now we know how China moves these drones.
And I would agree with you if, maybe the last thing I'll say about this, I would agree with you if the possibility of people dying because of said drones didn't
But
exist.
they don't care. That's what I'm trying to get at. The government
I
doesn't
think they
care.
do care. I'm not saying that the government is great. That's not my point. I just do think that they care. The same reason why they'd shoot down our personal drones if we put them out in the air is the reason why they'd shoot down a Chinese drone.
Honestly, see, I think that's the philosophical difference here. I don't think the government doesn't care at all.
No,
Like, because look back, for instance, what Candace
I'm
Owens just had
not-
on her
I'm not-
podcast the other day about the USS Liberty.
I'm not
about that
making-
whole situation.
No, I'm not making the government to be more righteous than they are. That's not my point. I just think it would make them look so bad. They care about their image enough to not let a bunch of people die because of
They
an
should have
SUV.
shot down the hot air balloon.
But people didn't die because of the hot air balloon.
They could have.
But a hot air balloon is not as clearly dangerous as a
Who
drone.
knows what could be on board that hot air balloon? They
but
could,
then that's
they could
when we
have
both
literally
agree-
anthrax
But that's
on
when we,
there.
no, that's when we both agree that that's what they should have done. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying that this is such a clear and obvious lie. They don't know what's going on.
It's the same thing, Colette.
I don't think it's the same
It's
thing.
the same thing.
I just want to take a brief moment here when you guys said it couldn't be airplanes or helicopters.
I didn't
In
say-
the article you guys sent me, it's literally the picture given has FFA
wait.
regulated
Is
lights on
this-
it. I mean,
Ruby?
No, I agree.
Ruby,
That's my point. So the very first day that all this stuff started to come out, I'm sure someone saw something. But then there's something called mass hysteria, which everyone
Yeah.
now wants to see.
That is true.
Everyone now wants to see what they think that they're seeing. So I sent that article. Is that the Guardian article or News?
that was the Guardian.
Hey, can you go down
At the-
to my
well,
Washington Post article?
before you
it's
do
in,
that-
it's
not in
my,
here.
It's,
Before you do that, scroll down to the bottom of the Guardian article, please, pretty please,
okay.
because there's something very funny. Farther down. That how the Guardian will stand up for 4 more years of Donald Trump. I read through that and I was like, you know what? Even if there's truth in this article, I choose to believe the opposite.
Well, they've gotten a lot of money out of it, apparently.
$5 million. Stuff like that. Stuff like this.
We're gonna see the return of just unhinged anti-Trump yellow journalism back in full force when he comes back into office.
But to
Just
put
prepare
that
for
at
it.
the end of an article with like a goal for money for fundraising,
That
it's
is
like Wikipedia.
90% of the
I mean-
media's business
Yeah, but
model.
also I think
Trump
you
is
gotta keep in
doing
mind-
that.
That's
See,
what
The
Washington
Guardian
Post said.
is a British
Perfect.
newspaper.
Captain Caplock, that's exactly my
No,
point.
they're not
That
I'm
is-
sorry, no. They're not
Yes,
exclusively they're
the
not
government does
exclusive.
not care.
I know the government does not necessarily care. I think they care about themselves.
All right,
They
damn
care
it.
about
Point of
If we're
themselves.
going to be meta, then I'm going to have to ask you this. What is the government? You
Oh,
keep
yeah.
saying the government this, the government. What is that?
That's a great question.
Deep
What
state
I'm-
bureaucrats.
What I'm purposefully
on the
getting
right
at
track,
is the
Jack.
higher level bureaucrats, specifically within the intelligence agencies
what
that
is
answer
that?
to the Biden
I think
administration.
What is that?
So it's headed by Mayorkas, those sort of people.
And what is he? Yeah, it's just fucking people, man.
It's the Secretary
Oh
of
my gosh,
Intelligence.
okay.
That is
that
one of the
whole
greatest
apparatus.
insights into politics you're ever going to get in your life. The government is fucking people.
Oh well, really? They weren't angels?
You're not. If
Like,
you're not having
obviously
an
they're
epiphany.
people.
Yeah, as
No, they're
compared to
obviously people.
baboons. That's not my point.
Okay.
They're obviously people.
When you evaluate, there's literally culture-wide sayings about how stupid and useless and bad the government is at everything. Like, if you want it to get fucked up, let the government take it over. When's the last time
That's
the
such a bad
government
take,
took
too.
something over and made it better? That's never.
So a better
Actually, I
question
disagree.
Wait, a better question. I would clarify our thing. Who is the Biden administration to you in what you're talking?
It's also
And
people.
what I'm talking about,
no,
it's
hold
the
on. We're not
intelligence
done. We're not done
apparatuses.
with this point yet. I'll drop it after this. But let me say this. You said, so one of you is saying the government cares about us but lies to us, and the other one's saying
That's not my point.
Whatever. But you're saying the government cares about, lies about. You're saying random people that I
How
have
about
not
this?
named
The intelligence
care about me.
apparatus.
Why would they? And which specific people?
I don't think the government necessarily cares about people. I think they care about themselves, their image. There's the reason why they hide things that they do. That's why it's called
But
the
see-
deep state, not the shallow
But see,
state.
I disagree.
So why are we
Those
relying
government
on
officials-
any statement by the government? As, it's not that it's always true or it's always wrong. It's just you throw it out. It's
John, you're
not
sideways from the
useful
point.
information.
No, that's my point. I don't care about what they say. I care about their actions. And the fact that they're not obviously shooting down these drones makes me think that they're American drones.
No,
That's just my point.
Well, why you're saying they'd shoot them down to keep us safe?
No, I'm saying that they'd shoot them down to keep us safe if they did not know what they were.
But also look at our government officials. A lot of those high-level people have had in the Biden administration have had contact with Chinese nationals. It is in their best interest to start a war.
But
So
To
you're both
start a
agreeing
war.
that the government knows whose drones they are.
oh yeah, for sure.
Yes.
So,
We
okay.
disagree. We just disagree on.
And we can, and whether it's China or not China or whoever else, none of us are sitting in a briefing room getting told that. So we're all just guessing.
Of course.
And you're all basing your guesses off of statements from the government
I'm not basing it on
and statements from the media. Is that correct?
not a statement.
Okay, so what
No,
part?
It wouldn't
And
be a statement.
Whose statements are you basing your theory off of?
it would be an action. And actions happened.
Okay.
How I found out about
I'm
the action.
basing
Okay.
mine. I'm basing my assessment off of what I've seen.
Assessment is so funny.
I am basing the assessment I am making off of what I have seen our government do in the past, as well as what is currently being fed through media sources I particularly trust on the situation.
Okay.
That comes together to form my assessment.
I
You are
situation.
using media sources in your assessment.
Yes.
Yeah, because he wasn't
And you're
in New
not.
Jersey. Well, I'd say this. A response to Kronik, I don't necessarily believe the government cares about me. That's why I was asking, who is the Biden administration? Anyone who works for the military or anything like that, they're part of the government.
Well, yeah.
So I was just
so, like-
arguing that people's basic jobs at the lower level would be to probably shoot something down without questions if it's an SUV drone above them. But
There's
then you're saying it
some
would go up, it would go
military
up.
gun
It's-
operator who gets a command whether or not to shoot.
It has
it
to-
No, I
down.
know. And then you're saying it would go up, up, and up, and up all
Yes,
the way.
it-
And then that means everyone, top to bottom,
It
would
has
have
to be
know.
cleared. It
Everyone,
has to be cleared to a much higher level than just say like a,
no, I know-
a staff sergeant or a butter bar.
I know
it
it'd have
has
to
to
be-
move up.
I know it'd have to be cleared now, but I'm just saying that it makes the conspiracy grand.
Well, no, it doesn't. Like, for instance, so if it's localized within like, say, just for simplistic purposes, parts of New York, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey, if all of these reports are to be trusted, whatever, even just to slim it down, New Jersey, well, all the Biden administration has to do, like the higher level intelligence officials, is just tell the military personnel who work security in that area to just not shoot down those drones. It's very simple because there's not really that many people working there. And with this, especially with how the state militias are set up, you can just tell that whole like command, don't do it. And now it's passed down from higher levels and they just can't do it. It's very simple. All you have to do is just inform, they'll probably, it would probably be a 2-star that's in charge of their state command there. And then no one can do anything.
Well, I'm happy. I can't wait to find out what's actually going on in like 300 years when the CIA documents are redacted and all that other stuff.
Yeah. Any chance I can pick the next topic?
Yeah, let's go
yes,
for it.
Okay, so a certain person has been labeled by.
Tell me what it is
Stop
first.
Anti-Semitism. Okay. Candace Owens labeled anti-Semite of the year.
Oh, this is a good one, Jack.
Oh.
This is a great one.
Yeah, and this might be I might give a hot take, and you guys might kick me from the show for it. You guys might not like it. I'm
We
just
wouldn't
warning
do
you
that.
ahead of time.
We wouldn't do that.
I just got real excited.
You want the video first?
Give us the take. Give us the take.
Well, let's pull it up first. Yeah, so this is Stop Anti-Semitism. They
If
claim to
Hitler just
be
wanted
a
to make Germany
nonpartisan
great and
org,
have things
but
run well,
they
okay.
named. So, of all the anti-Semites in the world, some are killing Jews, like delivering all sorts of propaganda. They choose Candace Owens for some reason, and they give a short clip compilation, giving us a taste of, or giving us a glimpse of why. And if you guys want to play that, we can see it, or we can show chat and just get an idea.
Thank you,
Every
Dr.
person
Tetanus.
who speaks about Israel has to basically say a
Okay,
statement
that's
like,
enough,
you know,
Jack.
I don't wanna
We
get
don't need to
killed.
watch
No,
the
no,
whole
it-
video.
You
it
don't
still
have
goes
that,
on.
but any
Hold
other
on.
country in the world,
Is there a part you wanna
except for
skip
the
to?
one that, you know,
Like
took
10
over
more
ours,
seconds left.
and that's the truth, okay? We are an occupied nation.
Just like within all communities, there are gangs, right? Gangs can form, we understand this. What if that is what is happening right now in Hollywood? If there is just a very small ring of specific people who are using the fact that they are Jewish to shield themselves from any criticism?
Yep. And that's the whole thing. And if you guys want to hear my hot take, I am willing to argue that not a single thing Candace Owens says warrants her, like at least featured in this clip, warrants her being called anti-Semite of the year, or just an anti-Semite, let alone anti-Semite of the year. And
You
we can
think
go
that's a
through
hot
all of
take
them.
with this crowd?
My first question is that are those clips all even from the same year, or is that just
No. So
her entire
the
career?
The first clip was from 2019, and it's all sporadic and clipped out of context.
Yep.
And I can go over each and every one of them if you'd like.
No, Jack.
No,
Okay, but-
I'm just surprised you think that's a hot take. I don't feel like, I feel like a lot of people would probably agree with what you're saying, especially like in this crowd.
How do you feel about it?
I just don't have I don't have that much space in my
That was a
brain.
little anti-Semitic of you.
I don't. I think people obviously overuse it the way people like overuse the word racist. Like, oh, that person's racist. Oh no, it's definitely overused.
I just
I just
Pretty
don't- I don't
anti-Semitic
think
to
about
say that the word racist is overused. Let's be honest. That's a very
Pretty racist to say
anti-Semitic
the
thing
word,
to say.
the word racist. Is,
It's racist if I point out to you that you're anti-Semitic.
Sure.
That's a pretty anti-Semitic thing to say.
I can't. I don't have that many comebacks today.
What is a Semite exactly? We believe in mot juste on this channel. You got a little internet definition you can pull up for us?
Working on it.
What is a Semite? Does that mean son of Shem, I believe? Am I on the right track? Anyone?
So
I have no idea.
Does it mean... maybe that's my point. Maybe a
Circle jerk.
Semite
Who
is
is-
whatever you need it to be.
who is this? Who is this circle jerk 3Cs? He's funny. Show should be called
He's a
calling her
regular.
token crackers.
He's throwing out some hard M's. What's wrong with that?
Token crackers.
I mean,
Crackers is not funny. We need a
If
better
I'm
term.
Ballet and her token crackers.
We need a better term.
I mean,
Son of Noah, John.
I like.
And it's
Candace-
literal Latin from Greek translation.
Semite means son of Noah?
Jack, I think that like when it comes to
Noah
this
is
topic,
the main prophet for the Jews.
it's not that
Noah's a prophet?
it's not a left-right issue.
That was a prophet.
It's not
It's a
that
uniparty issue. I agree.
Yes,
it's a uniparty
it's
issue.
it is a uniparty issue because half the government, more than half the government, most of the government is beholden to Israel's commands first, and most of the established orders around them. Well, most of the media has a Jewish bias. So obviously, the one person who speaks out against it, some is going to be labeled the anti-Semite of the year. It's not that shocking, and honestly, she has said multiple times she is not an anti-Semite. I believe her. Like, it's stupid. She's doing real journalism. That's it. This isn't a story
Well,
to me.
right off the bat, it's kind of like saying homophobic. You're afraid of gay people, which is always an invented propaganda term. It paints the anti-gay people in a negative light. But so a Semite, like Arabs, a lot of Arabs anyway, are Semitic, are they not?
Yeah.
No, all of Palestine, Palestinians are Semitic, I believe.
True.
So the Jews have claimed the term Semite to mean Jews, which it doesn't.
Real quick, too, a lot of the chat is saying Moses. That is what I had in my head when I said main prophet, but the literal translation is son of
Moses.
Noah, according to Oxford Language Dictionary.
Moses, he was I.
Okay, I guess that makes sense. Like after the flood.
Anyway, when they say Candace Owens is the anti-Semite of the year, what they're really saying is a Jewish organization is saying she's anti-Jewish. Is that not accurate? Just to be clear.
It's highly inaccurate because what she's doing is criticizing a foreign government, Israel, and people are saying, "Oh, because it's a Jewish state, then that means any criticism is inherently anti-Semitic," and that's such a stupid argument.
The meaning of the word anti-Semitic, as it's come to be used, does not mean you hate Semites. It means you hate Jews, right? We're establishing we're talking about the same thing. Okay. Just want to be clear about that.
Jack, I agreed with you there. She has always constantly criticized the Israeli government, not the Jewish people. There is a difference. I am highly critical of their government as well. That doesn't mean I want to go there and murder. No, I just don't care. They're people.
It's like saying
too.
when you
They're
criticize the
people
Chinese
too.
government, like the CCP, you hate Chinese people.
Exactly.
It's nonsensical. And we need to get out of this mentality, especially towards a foreign nation, because
especially one that
think
hates
that's
us.
very unhealthy.
Especially one that has killed American civilians and has killed Christians. A Christian nation should not be allied with a nation that is killing Christians and is not helping the Syrian people who are Christians who are trying to leave. The Jewish, Israel should be the government in the region helping these Christians out during their time of crisis, but instead they have to flee to Lebanon and then causes mass chaos all over the world because Israel can't help these Christians out because they'd rather stomp Christians in the street.
Okay, I don't necessarily disagree.
Allies.
What do you think happens to all the Christian monuments in Jerusalem if Palestine takes it over?
If Palestine takes it over?
Mm-hmm.
Which is never going to happen because
that wasn't my
the
question.
Christians are going to be there first. If that were to happen, the Christians would be there. There would be another crusade. Sorry.
I apologize if I made myself sound pro-Palestine there. I'm not.
Yeah. Well, Mihai,
I don't want them to be in charge of it either.
I think we should make it clear. I think it's I think it's the wrong approach to say, oh, we have to pick a side, like Israel and Palestine. I think both sides are terrible. Like a lot of leftists support Palestine not because they think they're morally in the right, but they do so in the framework of they're oppressed. In other words, they view them. They think that just because they have like browner skin than the Israelis, then that means they can get away with whatever they want. And they're going to apply. They're going to apply the same logic to Americans as they currently do with like Native that we somehow stole our land from the Native Americans. Which
even though they were white, Native Americans were white originally. Fun fact. Yeah, when they came over the land bridge, we have DNA evidence. People frozen in glaciers. They were the original Native Americans, and they were all white. White as the driven snow, as the saying is. White as the driven snow. So
driving that snow.
Just as a little fun fact for y'all, we took the land from ourselves.
You know, that's why the Aztecs have white creation gods and stuff. Yeah. You might not know this because you were not born yet, but before you were born, me and my peeps, we like went around and like founded some cultures and religions and shit.
John Ward.
We were just founding.
Right.
I was like, you guys want to go somewhere and found?
Yes.
They're like, yeah, how about Mexico, the place that want to be Mexico? And I'm like, see.
A real life game of
Yo quiero found in Mexico. And Mexico is what I said. I was founding the language as it was happening. You know, like a rendering of a computer screen.
Not to go like...
Anyway, then we went to like Peru and we did some founding. The Incas, we founded them. Go on.
Made them really good at running.
Go on. Yeah.
So were you
I was like, these guys need to run.
So were
Look
you
at these
basically
mountains.
just the Mormon Jesus going over to Native Americans?
We were found. I say we were found. I went to Greece. I had a little electrical problem with my flashlight. They thought I was throwing lightning bolts. Zeus.
Okay.
Founding. Just founding. Went to Japan. Was like, I bet the sun's going to come up right there. It did.
He went to Rome. He had sex with a wolf, and a couple Roman brothers were born.
Plowed this wolf over in Roma. They called it in those days. I was like, that's a sexy wolf. Bang, founded.
Yeah.
And the four brothers started fighting each other over the boot.
Yeah, well, since
Gave my son
I opened it up,
Hercules some tasks.
since we can't support either side, how would you guys suggest we deal with the topic?
In a perfect world, the Christians would take the holy. In a perfect world, the Christians would take the holy land back.
Why are we
Okay, but what
talking
about reality?
Greater Israel? How come nobody's suspicious that Israel is becoming expansionist right now? But you can't be expansionist anymore. You got to hide your expansionism, and so they're expanding into Palestine. They're expanding into Syria,
Lebanon,
and then So can you, Mihai, bring up Israeli military patch? Do you know what I'm talking? It's not in the links, but do you guys know what I'm talking about?
While he's bringing that up,
Not my theory. So I gotta explain what the fuck I'm about to show here.
All right.
Greater Israel, their whole 6,000-year-old plan of the land they would control.
So Chronic says we're 6 for 20.
That is correct. There's a lot of ones I'm looking at here, John. What?
It will look.
Show you what I'm
just
looking
pull
at.
up the internet. Oh, go down, right there.
Oh yeah, this one.
Yep. You'll notice that is quite a bit bigger than the current state of Israel. It includes the Sinai Peninsula. It includes up into Syria, and then it includes down to this very weird horizontal line across the middle of Saudi Arabia. If you would, for me, in that search bar, type Saudi Arabia, the line.
Oh, geez. Is that?
No, that's further south than where the line
this is going.
That's because the Sinai Peninsula. That's further south. That's about 400.
I don't know if that patches to scale. Let's be fair.
No, look, see, the line is being built. Yeah, no, it's much further to the south. The line is much further north than what that patch said. Much further north.
Is it?
Yes, see,
Yeah,
because
it's right level with the tip of the peninsula. Go back.
and see,
Right level with the tip of the fucking peninsula.
no, it's not.
Close enough.
Go back. Go
It's
back.
right
please,
there.
Mihai.
You're giving this patch maker.
It's level with the
You're
Sinai
acting like this
Peninsula.
patch guy got out CAD.
Yes, that's
and
like
fucking was-
500 miles further south. There's a
That's the
whole fuck ton
same-
of territory. That's basically Mecca.
Look at the
All right,
little.
hold
Where
on.
it goes
Stop.
is
What's
basically
the point he's
Mecca.
trying to make, though?
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Wait, what the point I'm trying to make?
Yes.
Yeah. You see my point?
Okay, but I think your point about Saudi Arabia building the line, they're stupid when the line's about 500 miles further north.
You know
than
what's
what
stupider than that?
the line
That the
would
line
be.
is going to be a real city in the shape of a line.
Yeah,
That's
it's-
dumber.
By the way, that whole area, like they're like,
That's not going to happen.
I was watching Johnny Harris yesterday. He has a whole episode out about it that just came out. He's very liberal. I don't like him on American topics, but he showed, like, during this whole episode, he was showing that they are halfway complete with half of these projects out there. Like, they are actually building it. The line, the whole
Now, they're
area has
probably
been cleared
building
out.
some fucking tunnel.
yeah,
No,
and
they're
then
building. No.
under
They
the
cleared
pretense of it being a line.
Dr. Tetanus,
They
there are
cleared
Christian
the whole area
Palestinians, the
out.
oldest Orthodox church in the region, or was, I don't know, also
Quetzalcoatl.
was our guy.
Call that. You will never call me cracker again. You will call me Quetzalcoatl.
It's Quetzalcoatl.
Or you can call me a Quetzalcoatlian cracker, but you may not call me just an unlabeled, boring old cracker. I must at least have a brand, and that brand must be Quetzalcoatlian.
Have I ever called you cracker? I don't think I have though.
You can, though, if you want to. I don't really give a
I
shit.
like how
I'll
you
just call
looked
you
at
by your
me
name.
when you said that, Colin.
I'll call you
Thank
by
you.
your name.
I forget what color I am. Sometimes I look in the mirror and say, who is that?
So I wasn't
Who is
like
that ravaged soul, that saddle
just
man?
don't call us male.
What are you trying to
monkeys.
say
Just don't
about
call us
Israeli
male
expansion, though?
monkeys.
I think they're trying to form Greater Israel.
Well, yeah. So the biblical, let me try and pull this up. In biblical terms, that is probably what their country actually is, according to, like,
That's what they say was promised to
yeah, it
them.
was bestowed upon them by God.
I mean that makes sense. But I was gonna say it like back to the original topic.
Which, by the way, would put them
Is that not
in
the
odds
topic?
with us.
Well, specifically back to the original topic about Candace. I think that
true.
they chose Candace Owens. This was just a publicity stunt. They don't actually believe Candace Owens is the greatest anti-Semite.
Well, yeah.
Even if they do think she is a anti-Semite, the
So
greatest
that's an
anti-Semite of the year. Like,
Is she actually controlled opposition, as they say? Is she work
I
for
can't,
the Semites?
I can't. I mean, how far down that path am I willing to go without like exploding, my brain exploding? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't have opinions on stuff like this. There's just other things for me to think about. They obviously don't believe she is a crazy anti-Semite, at least to win the award for the year of 2024.
Who else was in the running? Do we know?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a good question.
Well,
there
I
wasn't-
would say Assad. I mean, like compared to someone like Assad, who Israel labels as one of their number one enemies, I don't see why
Assad
he didn't get
was
it, and
really
she
not
does.
that bad of a guy.
how many
No, that's
number
not- he's
one?
not saying
But my
it
point
was.
is that he's obviously worse than Candace. Like there are obviously worse people out there, and just taking like a
would
random
also-
online political commentator is ridiculous if you're trying to highlight how dangerous it is being a Jew in the 21st century. It honestly makes them look worse.
Well, to be
instead
fair,
of Candace.
to be fair, I guess their advocate, they're probably thinking like Candace is actually influencing people. That might be a point that they're making. That she's influencing people who are going to go and influence other people.
Is she founding?
Like video games influencing people to kill, apparently.
I mean, even on that
Same
end,
logic.
you could say that there's someone. You could say Hassan Piker influences people more because Twitch had to change its entire terms of service this year because there was so much anti-Semitic propaganda, like being pro-Hamas.
To be fair, you know,
I
Candace
didn't
Owens
see
is more
anything from-
influential than Hassan Piker, though.
Is
I
she,
wouldn't say-
though?
I mean, Candace
disagree.
Owens is she has her own meme where people play a video and they just play her reacting to something else under it, and those go viral like all over Instagram. And
I would
TikTok
say
and all that.
Hassan Piker is more influential in the sense that he's not censored as much. He is pushed by the mainstream, while Candace
I think
Owens
more
is not.
people know who Candace Owens is than Hassan Piker. That's my point. I guess that'd be my point.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how,
think so?
how we could
Oh,
like,
yeah, I
verify
think so.
that, or how we
I
could
think
find
so.
that out.
Hassan Piker would be like, oh, maybe I've seen that guy in the beginning of some video. He
Yeah,
wears
but you're
glasses,
you're
Candace
showing
Owens is Candace Owens.
your bias of the
Hassan-
circles
No,
we
I'm
run in.
taking my bias into account.
Hassan Piker is the guy who.
How many Hassan Piker viewers do you hang out with? I mean, like,
He's
No,
the-
I just think the
he's
average
Young
person
Turks
will
guy, right?
recognize Candace Owens before
He's
Hassan
related.
Piker.
He's the nephew of the Young Turks guy, whatever his name is
I
again.
don't really know. I can't really tell you all that.
Jack.
Chink.
Yeah, Chank.
What?
Chink.
He's the nephew of Chank, right?
Yeah, from the Young Turks. Yeah, Chunk Yogurt. And he's actually been
Shank Uger.
Shank is actually
gets respect from me. Shank is the
he's
one of the few
actually
that gets
based lately,
respect.
and he's actually been arguing
Why?
with Hassan over. Like,
You didn't know his
because he's
name
been-
10 seconds ago when I walked in.
Well,
because
That
he's
guy
been
whose
getting
name I don't know.
attacked to the
No.
left.
Man, do I respect him.
I mean, as a liberal commentator, he he is at least slightly populist, and he comes from a good place.
So
No,
ask
the
me how
bar-
I know
the-
you've
no, no,
only
no.
been watching
The
Cenk for like a year.
The bar is in hell. The bar is in hell. You cannot use based to ever describe words
no,
that
no,
come.
no, no.
I know
He's not
Jack did.
based. He's
No,
not
but
based
he
at
can't,
all.
He can't say based
Cenk.
things. Like it's just impossible. Like the bar is in
Cenk.
hell.
I'm saying that he has been moving,
Cenk.
like he has done a good job of attacking other like leftists for being retarded, and he's right.
He's
on a lot
trying
of-
to stay relevant.
It's called grifting,
He's
Jack.
grifting,
No,
Jack.
I don't necessarily.
He's
I
go-
disagree with
grifting.
that. I don't think he's
No, I don't-
grifting.
That's how I said, how do you ask me how I know you've only been watching Cenk for a year?
No, I think he can be a grifter. I think the specific instance that you're talking about,
Yeah.
it might not be him grifting, but this is happening within the entire Democrat Party. So why would I give why would I
Okay.
give Cenk that like credit? Within the Democrat Party, they can't agree on their takes on many, many social
What you just
and
said
political issues.
is one of the most insanely idiotic
You got to do it
things
quicker
I've
because we
ever
don't know
heard.
we don't know what you're talking
Should
about.
kill her
No
mic.
You. He was talking about
In your
you.
rambling,
Me?
incoherent
What did I say?
response,
Dr.
were
Tetanus,
you even close to
Candyman is
anything?
still looking for
everyone.
Hassan.
Thank you, Dr.
Yeah, when is he
Tetanus.
gonna
You are
fight Sam
single-handedly
Hyde?
getting
I
us to
wanna
our
know
goal.
that.
8 out of 20. 8 out of 20.
Yeah, we should. If you've just joined or didn't know, if you go to that wide chat one more time, this whole super chat goal is when we get to 20 super chats of any amount, 99 cents or anywhere up from there. You gonna go to the Y one? Mihai, it's his turn today. Will drink this rapidly warming Coors Light out of this Russian helmet of shame. So that's what the goal is. If you didn't know, throw in your 99 cents if you want to see that. What's our count at right now?
Not sponsored.
We
8 out
are
of
at
20.
8 out of 20.
Sponsored by Vladimir Putin
Oh
himself.
my gosh, we're actually getting there.
I was sitting here where Mihai was earlier today working. I got a phone call. It said V Putin. I said, oh gosh, this again. He said, John, what's up? He said this in Russian. Can't say what he said, but I'm just going to say that it was in Russian. And he's
He
like,
said 2,000 years ago, Russia came across Ethiopian plains.
it's not bad. It's not
Yeah.
bad.
Going
Anyway,
back to the Young
20
Turks,
super
the chat,
chats.
The chat is bringing
Jesus
up,
Christ.
the chat is
Go
bringing up
ahead,
Anarchist-
Jaxis
Yes.
Christ. I like
Yes.
that.
Yeah, the chat is bringing up Anna Kasparian, and I think that's something good to take into account because I think that she is authentic because when she talked about her sexual assault in the city by a homeless guy, the left just pounced on her and said, no, that didn't happen. You're just attention seeking, and I think that really shifted her perceptions on things like crime, like transgenderism, and just how they treat people. When they bring up inconvenient truths to their ideology, and that's why I think the shift in perspectives we've seen from Cenk and Anna isn't really financially motivated, but more so just genuinely that they're realizing how insane leftists have become.
I don't necessarily disagree, but I think they realized it a little too late. I think the signs were there.
True.
Yeah.
And now they have
Like,
no choice.
It's like Bill Maher's whole shtick. He says, "Isn't it crazy how much, like how leftists have got it when he advocated for the same things like in the '90s? Like, he's just not taking any." He's not taking any responsibility of what he advocated for back then. He's not acknowledging that the conservatives were right.
Well, I think there's another point of view though, where there's like a lot of leftists or even some independents, they strive for this middle ground that just doesn't exist. The logical conclusion of a lot of their policies, like even in the 80s and 90s, is what we're reaping right now. It's like the kind of people who are like, oh, like I'm just against kids like transitioning. It's like I get that point, I agree, but the logical conclusion of saying people can transition is kids can transition. That's just a logical. I mean, then people are like, oh, it's a consent thing, and then once it goes into consent hell, it's hard to argue correctly for, in my opinion.
It's a slippery slope.
It's a cliff. I like to call it a cliff.
Yeah.
What are some other topics?
You want
If
to
you
get
guys-
Superman now?
I don't know anything about
Superman. Let's
okay.
do Superman.
Yeah, we can.
The
Okay,
Superman trailer.
I might debate with this on you a bit, Michael.
Gotta keep
Depending on
it
your
short
take.
because that's
Okay. Okay.
July 11.
So first off, the James Gunn is the producer of this. James Gunn has made movies like all three Guardians movies. I think it only gotten better with
Suicide
time.
Squad.
the Suicide Squad, the modern one, not the 2016 garbage pack.
The one that sucks, yeah.
Yeah, and then he also made Peacemaker. This guy is good at what he does, and he's trying something a bit different, and he's heading up the DC universe. And his first movie is going to be Superman, a redux, basically, of the... basically starting over the whole DC universe after the shit show that ended up being Snyder. Even though I kind of like Snyder's stuff, but I'm hopeful for James Gunn because I like his stuff. Anyway, there's the poster. The poster I think is great. The only thing I don't really like is the trousers, but that was apparently the actor who is playing Superman, David Corenswet, said that he needed to wear trousers because Superman is equivalent to, in our universe, a WWE superstar. So to make the little kids like him, he needs to look comical. Makes sense.
Question for
there's also
like
a
a
clip,
relative
trailer
outsider.
if you want to pull that up.
Okay.
Yeah,
quick
and then I
question.
have the trailer. Okay, and I'm gonna disagree with what the chat just said. This trailer is extremely based.
Okay, I actually agree with you, Mike. I thought we were gonna disagree on this.
No, for a movie, like for a modern Hollywood movie, this trailer looks fantastic. And like, I even think Zack Snyder's movies were relatively conservative. I just think that DCEU as a whole falls into like. They're going to end up being conservative movies
Can I
for the
ask
most
a quick
part.
question before you watch the trailer?
Yeah.
So I'm not like totally oblivious to everything like comic book, Superman, whatever related, DC universe, whatever. But Ashby brings up a great point. Why do we need another Superman? How many Supermans have there been since he's been born?
Because Henry
the current
Cavill
DC Cinematic Universe failed. It was a complete disaster. Like everyone hated it, so there's just
to add
But
some,
even Henry Cavill,
to
there was
add
another
some-
one before him.
To
in our
add some
lifetime.
context, the last DC universe, there was this movie creator, Zack Snyder. We all know Zack Snyder. He created Superman, Man of Steel. Man of Steel was largely praised, but then Batman v Superman was largely panned. It started this whole split where Zack Snyder filmed a version of the Justice League, and that was never released. It got destroyed and made into this disgusting movie. Then they released Zack Snyder's version later on. It's just a movie. It's a movie-making studio, Warner Brothers, becoming basically the human equivalent of like a lol cow, of like Nikocado Avocado. People started actively hate-watching things instead of enjoying it because it was clear that they weren't listening to the fans, that whole thing. And the only movies they ever give any respect to are Batman, but even then, Joker 2 was just released. So a lot of this is just restarting the whole thing.
It's not a
different
specific-
comic book runs have happened before.
It's not a specific problem I have with Superman. It's with all of them. It's like I like Rob Pattinson as Batman now, but
Yeah.
why do we have
I
so
agree.
many? Why do we have so? There are three Batmans.
Money.
A, because it makes money. B,
That's
B, because
Money,
you want
money,
to. A lot of the comic book fans that drive this have comic book storylines that they want to see brought to life, and there's hundreds of comic book storylines. So you have like, if Batman works, it makes you a bunch of money. Why not just choose another storyline? Bang.
But just
pick
give it a
that
few
up.
years. That's my point. Just give it some
And to
years.
address Ashby in the
Give it
chat,
some
just
time.
make a new superhero, but that doesn't unfortunately that doesn't sell.
No, it doesn't.
Any superhero movie, any movie made about an obscure superhero tend to fail compared to the more well-known superheroes.
And
so that's
also,
why you get
I
Well, they
would-
have to be established in comic.
And
book
then
land.
also, I would argue that, like, especially with Superman, I think that Superman, Batman, again, that's why I think the DCEU lends itself to being more conservative than Marvel, is because a lot of the stories and a lot of the themes of DC lend much more credence to it being conservative. So
I agree.
I lost my train of thought. Never mind. Just bring up the trailer.
Yeah,
bring up
play
the trailer.
Play trailer, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on it.
You're going strong. It's
And
only
then
in
there
theaters
you
film
go.
for
And then-
IMAX. I
no-
couldn't read the small text. It's now over. It's
John-
black
Wait,
screen.
it's
it's
only in
paused.
IMAX
John,
theaters?
people-
Paused on a
But what are
YouTube
your guys'
screen.
thoughts on it? Are you
People
guys,
break down
psyched?
trailers all the time. Yes, I'm extremely psyched for this, Jack. This was my topic. Superman is one of the most American icons ever. And notice that trailer. There's no diversity for the sake of just being diverse.
It's only 2 minutes
And
though.
Well, we know most
There
of the
seems
cast
to be a
breakdown.
consensus that it was gay.
That's nice.
Gay?
It wasn't, but okay.
Superman's always been gay. Looks so fucking gay. Spoiler: he's bi.
No,
I'm just saying.
That's his son. That's his son, Jonathan Kent. And I agree. That was a stupid decision for them to just
Notice that James Gunn isn't adapting that comic line though for this story. He's adapting specific comic lines that
I'm
are lending
glad
credence
James
to.
Gunn found enough of a break in his schedule of raping children to make this movie.
Actually, that was not a true story. at all.
Allegedly.
That those people were found out to be false.
Well, those are just
Allegedly.
jokes, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Allegedly.
Okay. Yeah, if I were to give my take on Superman, in order for it to be good, they have to stop. James Gunn has to not make the constant mistake that we've seen from all the other live-action Superman movies, which is
Fishy coral. Thank you.
On his Kryptonian origins and focus on his upbringing on Earth. Superman is Clark Kent first and foremost. Like what makes Superman appealing is that he's a farm boy from Kansas that comes to the Jade City of Metropolis and spreads his ideals and makes just the city and the world better by spreading his ground roots American ideals. He gets with the cynical but good-hearted city girl, and he fights against Lex Luthor, who
Don't say it like that. That was awful.
Who contrasts with him because even though like Lex Luthor is the most brilliant man on Earth, he represents the worst of humanity. While Superman is an alien, he represents the best of humanity. And in order for it to work, they need to hammer home those aspects. Like stop with the brooding, stop trying to write him like Batman, essentially.
Well,
that sucks.
I would also I think with this trailer is setting up, which I have a lot of faith in James Gunn. He's one of my favorite directors. I have a lot of bias here. I'll just say it. He's one of my favorite directors. However, I think he understands the pulse of what was needed with this movie. This movie, again, like what Jack was saying, a critical aspect of who Superman is to be Clark Kent. Clark Kent is the thing that makes you connect with Superman. Superman is supposed to be an idea of how people treat each other.
Dr. Tetanus East Asian media is better than anything the West makes now. Manga succeed where comics fail because they are. Lord of the Rings cut you off. I'm sorry, but thank you to both of you. Lord of the Rings, guess I'm not gay.
Lord of the Rings base. Guess I'm gay then. I'm excited for America's comeback. Truth, justice, and the American way. Take the wins. When we get them, we have the mandate.
Exactly. It is a cult. Like this trailer also. Notice what they're showing. The guy gets the girl. There's no weird inclusion for the sake of inclusion. It is a normal story that can relate to the majority of Americans. To me, it's very symbolic of the first trailer for Top Gun Maverick. And Top Gun Maverick ended up being one of the greatest movies since the 2020s kicked off because it focused on being a good person and had American idealism in it. We need more of that. We need more good American propaganda and not self-hating propaganda.
I want that American slop in my face.
Also, by the way, to that person who said manga is better than anything in the West now, that's what the Japanese wanted you to do. The Japanese created manga and that Eastern content to dilute the American culture. So if you like manga more than America, then go move there because they convinced you. I hate anime. I hate anime. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
How are they diluting the American culture if they're releasing it within Japan too? I don't get it.
The whole part. Look at the founding of anime. We know it was specifically created after World War II to dilute the American culture, and it has.
What do you mean?
Anime's everywhere now.
It was created after
You just made a
World War
wild
II
statement.
It's
Back it up.
escapism from getting their shit pushed in by American nuclear bombs.
It was to get back at America.
Have you ever watched? I don't watch a lot of anime, but it is pure escapism.
It's not pure escapism.
Yes, it is. What have you watched? Which one?
There's so many.
That's my point.
So many anime series, and American fighting against Americanism is not the theme of every anime. I'm just gonna say.
Well, no, I'm not saying it is overarching that each specific anime, but the overarching theme is that I don't like it. I don't like the animation style.
What makes you say that?
I don't like the
animation style.
Yeah, the animation style.
That's anti-American.
Okay, now if we're talking about meta, am I using it right? Then we are getting into meta. Put that all stuff aside. what you're saying could be true. It could all be true at the same time. That maybe it was escapism, and then people saw that it was popular in the West, and now they're taking advantage of it. I don't really care. My point about the trailer is I am impressed. I'm relatively impressed. They showed a lot of bad guys, though. A lot seemed to be going on for a single movie. But he looks like Christopher Reeves, which I really like.
So it
reminds me of the OG.
For the context, there's only really there's 2 or 3 villains that are pointed out in the actual trailer. Lex Luthor and then the kaiju, right? Okay, those are the 2 main villains in the trailer, plus that starfish thing in the middle of the air. The everyone else that was shown, the glimpses were of other heroes, Mr. Terrific, Hawkgirl, one of the specific iteration of the Green Lantern.
No, Avatar: The Last Airbender is not. Come on, it's not anime.
Yeah.
Christian Watson said, I don't see how anime is anti-American. It's a style of cartoon. Is Avatar: The Last Airbender anti-American?
I would.
No, that's not anime.
I would say
that is anime.
I consider Avatar anime, and I will never watch it.
But I do believe in the truth. Everyone knows, like Jack, you can know this. Please fight for this. Everyone knows Avatar: The Last Airbender is not an anime.
The way their mouths move.
It's made.
Avatar:
The Last Airbender
the way anything's mouth move does not necessarily make it an anime.
Avatar: The Last Airbender is anime inspired, but it's made in America.
I could agree with that. I think
anime. I think what people refer to as anime is specifically Japanese animation, but I could be wrong.
That makes no sense. If I go to Japan and write a country song, it's still a country song.
No, apply that with cartoons.
We're talking about people who write it. If it's written
That's what I just
by
fucking
people
said.
who are born in Japan and live in Japan, then it's a Japanese anime. But I hate the style overall. I think the style of animation is ugly
remember,
as well.
Just because you are Japanese.
So does that mean you hate the animated DC movies and the animated DC?
Oh yes, absolutely, Jack. Like anything that embraces that style of animation is what I hate more than the actual theme.
But to be
I don't hate the theme. Like I hate the themes in anime, but I hate that animation style more so. Like for instance, watch the Clone Wars instead. That is a perfect American produced show.
Don't want to
be.
I'm not trying to be annoying.
Style.
We need like a box that just says mutually exclusive.
Do we need a conch shell?
You can be.
Do you have the conch
magic
right now?
conch?
How are they not mutually? How are those not mutually exclusive?
No, because you can be Japanese.
Get a fucking conch
you can be Japanese and
the conch
be
is
in
spoken.
Japan and not necessarily make quote unquote anime. Like
How you doing, Amberlance?
What's going on, Amberlance?
Okay, again, I would agree.
Wait, Collie, can you say your name?
My name?
No, the one that just super chatted.
Ambulance? What are you trying to get me to say?
Someone called
Amberlance.
Okay, I knew you were trying to say. But,
yes, Matthew Rice, I know, but I don't
anyway,
like the animation style. I just don't. It's ugly.
No, I am not a fan of anime. I'm just gonna put that out there. I'm not. I have watched some, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Nobody was saying anything.
It doesn't matter. No, because I could see him. I could see it in his eyes, Michael.
I want to get back on Superman. I don't like the anime. I don't like talking about anime.
Can someone answer this? Wait, can someone answer this for me? I did watch like some Superman cartoons and stuff as a kid or whatever. I thought. This is not me being DEI or whatever.
What is the goddamn question?
No, I need to put these like stipulations before you guys roast me. I thought Lex Luthor was black.
Who?
Was Lex Luthor like not black in a specific?
No, you're thinking of Captain Planet.
In the original, when he was voiced, he was voiced by the same actor that voices Mr. Krabs, but no, he wasn't black. He just has big lips.
Mr. Krabs' voice actor is white. His name is Clancy Brown.
You said he's not black.
He's been in the
he just has
Clone
big
Wars.
lips.
He was in Star Wars
Clancy
Rebels.
Brown is a white guy.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I'm just like they made him tan in
I'm
something
not black
I saw.
like Barry White. I'm white like Frank Black, like a little not butthole surfers.
Okay.
Bloodhound Gang.
Yeah, but Clancy Brown delivered a great Lex Luthor
in
performance
Justice
in that
League.
show.
In Justice League. No, it's a cartoon that I was referring to. I remember as a kid, I was like, is he black?
It's Justice League and the Superman anime.
Anyway, the whole point that I'm trying to make with this trailer and with Superman is, like, I just think that any Superman movie is inherently, honestly, especially if it's made well, a good thing for culture, because it one of the aspects of Superman is an kind of underlying Christianity there, where you're supposed to believe in the figure to help to come save humanity. That it literally is. It's part of why he was written. There was an underlying Christianity there.
You think we need more of that?
Yes.
Wait, so you're saying you like a storyline where there's a hero and he fulfills the hero role in the way that we used to do in American media, where there's no anti-hero. It is a good guy doing good things and saving good people. Is that what you like?
No.
That is exactly what every anime ever is.
No, whatever.
It's true. Mihai is right on that front. He is right.
Again,
not.
I'm sure some of the storylines are fine.
I don't even fucking watch
biggest
anime.
point I want to make is I don't like. Sure, they could push like some cultural things in there that I don't like. I just like to use that as an easy jab. The thing I hate the most is the animation style. I like the Western Walt Disney kind of animation where you take time to move the mouth. Everything has a little bit of detail flowing, and anime just lacks it. Their mouths move like this.
But how is that?
It's
and
hard.
Just like
it's
just
hard for me though.
stupid.
No, it's hard.
It depends on the anime though, because they all have different styles.
Like for instance, Invincible looks good. Invincible looks very good, and it's kind of inspired by anime, but not fully. And that is how I think. If you want to do 2D animation, make it Invincible style.
So I think
Dr. Tetanus, thank you again. Doesn't sound like Goku at all.
Dr. Tetanus made a greater point earlier. He vindicated me. Lex Luthor was black in the 90s cartoon for Superman. I was just curious.
Let me Google that for you.
Whatever. Well, that's what he said. Well, they tried to make him look Greek. I was reading your writing about
David,
it
just
from
because
12 years
Disney
ago.
is gay doesn't mean that the style is gay. It looks much better.
She's definitely right.
Objectively speaking, it looks much better than anime.
Yeah, I'm not tripping. That's not a white man. Bye.
That's
Bye.
Andrew Tate.
How do you feel?
Look at the black.
Next.
No,
That's
look at
top
the right.
G.
See the black guy and see his complexion.
There are different kinds of black people, Jack.
There's Tristan Tate.
There are different kinds of black people, Jack.
That's Tristan Tate.
Light skin, dark skin.
I suddenly want to invest in
It's a
crypto.
spectrum. It's a range. That was a great,
Why is Michael Jordan in it
great
though?
cartoon.
It does look like Michael Jordan.
They even got
He's
the earring and
black
everything.
with an earring. Well, okay. Anyways.
Anyway,
Like he's exactly the hex code color of Michael Jordan.
And Michael Jordan would definitely wear that turtleneck too.
That is
the original
You're right.
version.
It's Michael Jordan. It
when
might
you're
be.
right. You're right.
This
Yeah.
is
It's
a
either
great-
Michael Jordan or the guy that got his ear bitten off. What's his name?
Oh,
Evander
Evander.
Holyfield.
He
Yeah,
does
Evander
look
Holyfield.
like him.
It could be
He
Evander
needs a
Holyfield.
mustache.
Just
though.
because they're
Is that
black.
what you're
That's
talking
great.
about?
Okay,
He would
so
have a pencil mustache if it was.
I don't know if what you were going to respond to me about. I have many qualms with anime, but it's hard because those are just like not it. There are better points to make about anime in general, but it doesn't really matter.
also hentai is inspired by anime too, which I despise hentai.
I just think it's a net
Despise it.
negative. I'm sure that there are positive things. I just think it's a net negative. That's my point.
I would agree. It turns people into soy boys.
Feminine.
Hentai is porn.
It's-
Anime
it is
isn't
feminine.
inherently porn though.
The fact that we even have to use inherently is crazy. But anyways,
So
Is this
he
the
was
sort of
black.
American animation you like?
actually, no, because
Look at that. That's American.
Wait, hold on. Illumination
agree.
movies are not. Half of them are not inherently produced in America, and they're sponsored based off of a European style of animation. I hate Illumination. Their movies look ugly. They're cheap. They're the lowest common denominator movie. Like at least with again Top Gun Maverick, it is a crowd pleaser, but there's something more for you to gnaw on after the movie. With Illumination, it's just all like right out in front of you. They never do like it's just the worst of how you make
know
a movie.
what, Michael?
It is
You're
the
right.
Like that is inherently ugly looking.
But I do
So
want
you
to
just want- You want
I was
every
really gnawing on Top Gun Maverick afterwards.
So every cartoon should be like Steamboat
Can
Willie.
you go back?
No. But there is a
can you go
point
back
to
to
make
that image you brought
the
up?
quality of animation has gone very, very, very down.
It's because
It
we
has gone
started
very-
hiring your people to
It's
make
because
them.
of CalArts.
Look at Mrs. Incredible. That is a like
Oh, I
again.
worked that
I
in.
know that
Nobody
people
even-
don't like
not
Disney
even a
these days,
blowback.
but Mrs. Incredible looks objectively better than anything Illumination has done.
Thank you, Karen Z. No
Mrs.
comment. Dr.
Incredible
Tetanus,
looks
Jerry
objectively
Siegel.
better.
Is
very-
Illuminations Pixar?
Very Christian.
No.
Then why are you talking about Illuminations? These are all
Okay.
Pixar moms.
That's
Okay,
Pixar.
Dr. Tetanus.
Because
you can
that
be
chick
Jewish
right
and-
there with
Dr. Tetanus,
that
you can
one
be
right there
Jewish
is
and create
Illumination.
A Christian character.
That like
Yeah, like the guy who wrote Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. He was Jewish.
Yeah.
The song or the
The song.
you talking about?
the-
Oh, what's his
the-
name? Gene Autry.
The Tolstoy novel adaptation as
I am
opposed to the
so
song.
glad.
You know who?
okay.
Do you know who? Are you talking about Gene Autry? Did he write Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
I don't know his name.
Anyway,
Do you know Gene Autry is Dennis
There's a lot
Quaid's
of good
uncle?
songs. What? Oh.
Did I tell you
I did not
when
know
I
that.
met Dennis Quaid story?
No,
I think you did.
Did I? What?
Dennis
two
Quaid is
different
beast.
answers.
I feel like
I don't know if you did.
yes, you did.
I
He
feel
was shooting a
You
movie.
told us about Aaron Watson.
Yeah, fucking Aaron Watson.
That was last week.
You're like the only one who knows who Aaron Watson is, though.
I know who he is now.
I was walking out of a college exam like 20 years ago, and they were filming a movie at my college with Dennis Quaid in it. I come out, so when you finish an exam early in college, you just fucking leave. Smitty Vid Studios, real quick. Major geopolitical craziness is lighthearted here, but anime and superhero movie talk is fucking intense. Classic Autis. I was about to say something to the same effect.
Because anime looks objectively ugly. It's not.
We need we're gonna need a super.
We don't have to go into the porn.
We're gonna need a super chat count after this. But anyway, super quick story. I come around one way. Dennis fucking Quaid comes the other way. He was in his college professor costume, so I just thought he was a professor at first. But what's noticeable about Dennis Quaid, I stared at him before I even realized who it was. Is that motherfucker has got to be 5 feet tall.
Yeah, I've heard he's really short.
5'0".
Dang.
He was he came up to my hip, and I was like, hey, it's like a miniature professor. So I stared at him, and then he thought I was staring at him because he's Dennis Quaid. So he's like, hey man, what's up? And I was like, oh fuck, you're fucking
what
dead.
movie
I was
were they-
staring
Okay,
at a
so we're
midget,
at- okay,
but now
so-
I'm staring at a midget that's Dennis fucking Quaid.
John, what movie were they filming? Do you know?
Smart people.
Oh, okay.
So we're at 15 out of the 20 accomplished for the super chats needed for Mihai to drink out of the Soviet helmet. We're 15 out of so
I'm
3/4 of
planning
the
my
way there.
escape.
And then I just wanted to say as a last thing to also add on to what the comments were saying there. The reason why part of the reason why I care so much about what is going on with pop culture and these movies and stuff, it's part of an overall cultural zeitgeist, and you can see it changing again, going back to a much
zeitgeist on us.
Yes, because it's going back towards a more objectively aesthetically pleasing, better stories, aesthetically pleasing, and towards stuff that actually looks good, like the Western cathedral style of when Disney produced Hunchback of Notre Dame, one of the best looking movies ever, a very good story. And now look at what Disney produces. A lot of it sucks. A lot of it objectively sucks. We're going back slowly in Hollywood towards things that are just objectively good.
Did you see Zootopia?
Zootopia was a mess.
Zootopia was incredible because guess what Zootopia is about?
Race allegories.
No, it's about fucking Hillary Clinton.
Oh yeah.
I shit you not.
Yeah.
Lord of the
Some
Rings.
anime looks objectively better than anything from the West. Just look at Demon Slayer. The mouths look weird if you watch it dubbed instead of subbed, like some kind of.
Yes,
that's true. Dubbed
That's a
anime
great point.
sucks. You should watch it subbed.
My friends have showed me undubbed anime as well. I'm sorry, the mouths need to move more in accordance with how the people talk. Even with Eastern style. And honestly, I don't think Demon Slayer looks that good.
So you throw on a fucking cartoon, Michael. You're saying this is true. You live your life this way, and you look at the mouths, and you're like, if they're not frame for frame matched up with the plosives and the sibilants, this animation sucks.
It's about laziness versus making something that looks good.
Are 1 frame per second off.
Yes.
This is not for me.
Yes. The whole point, of making animation is to make it look good. And
so when the animated witch hops on her broomstick and flies a sparkle trail to the moon, you're like, that's real. But the mouth was a little off.
So,
well, I mean, also
to people
you could
who are
have
watching this who have
glitches,
tuned out, I would like to say I apologize. I deeply apologize on behalf of everything for what
Are you simping for the chat right now?
No, I don't know about simping. I think they just represent what most of America is probably feeling right now. We do not care. I'm sorry. If you're anti-anime like me or relatively, there are other points to be made. It's a general culture.
So we should not talk about the things we care about. We should instead, you're saying, not to put words in your mouth,
pimp ourselves
talk
out
about
for the
the
chat.
things you care about.
We should pimp ourselves out.
Well, let's just do everything that you want to do.
Thank you.
Anyway, just to end my point on Superman, the Superman trailer looks good.
I tried.
It's filmed in seemingly a 70s style too, which I appreciate.
I guess so.
Is it coming out in June 11th?
July 11th.
July 11th.
I think they missed an.
I guess we're taking calls now.
I think they missed an opportunity.
I think this seems like a good time to let the chat know that we are accepting phone calls again today, and welcome back. If you want to join, call us at 202-922-7770.
I thought that was the suicide prevention number. That's why I was laughing. Wait.
All right, I'd like to give some closing thoughts on the Superman movie too.
All right, hurry up. Someone's going to call.
I am optimistic about it because James Gunn, even though, yes, he is liberal, he does show a care for the comic. For the comics.
I think he voted for Trump this time.
He's known for taking obscure characters like the Guardians of the Galaxy, Peacemaker, and getting them right and getting them popular again. And I
Hey,
think he's going to do the same. I think he's going to do the same with Superman.
Dr.
and
Tetanus.
I think it's going to be a good. I think it's going to be a good cultural awakening moment for America. And we're going to be proud to be Americans again.
Amazing. Wait. Where did that number come from? Why is that a DC area code? That's crazy.
I'm glad you're the first person that's ever I picked that on purpose.
For who? For whom?
Because it's funny.
I thought it was the suicide prevention number, like I said before. That would have been hilarious.
I agonized for hours over what area code to
Wait.
choose.
Dutch Warnick just mentioned Clutch Cargo. That has like terrible like mouth. If you actually watch it, like the mouth motion, like it actually has human mouths.
Michael,
for the
don't watch that
animation.
one.
It's so terrible. You're gonna hate it, Michael.
When you make animation, the point is to mimic reality, but add a little
That's
something
literally
to it.
that is not. If you wanted to mimic, you wouldn't do animation.
I don't want to
You
defend.
wouldn't-
I don't want to
inherent
defend.
purpose of animation is to add an extra layer to reality.
The purpose of
Michael,
Steamboat
this
Willie
is so
is to
hard
add
to
to
listen.
reality.
No, wait. I don't even necessarily agree with Michael. What Michael is trying to say is he thinks it's lazy. It's hard to hear you argue, bro. I hear what you're trying to say. I don't even agree. You just think it's lazy. Just say you think it's lazy.
I think it's lazy and it doesn't look good.
I think that's
You
a
wish
lazy
those
argument.
animators would stay in
Alright.
their little cubicles just staring at lips all day, huh? You're
Yes, that's your job.
These guys
You're
need to.
hired to do that job, so
Hey,
do it.
let's look at this reality real quick, Michael. Let's just look at some reality.
Chad, is this real? Look at the mouth. Look at the detail put into this animation from the 20s.
It's alternating fucking frames.
No, there was clearly more
His
effort
mouth
put into
bulge.
To be fair,
There's clearly
to
more-
be fair,
there's clearly
to be
more
fair,
effort put
to
into
be
that
fair, to be fair, the
than
mouth,
anime.
the mouth syncing is slightly off if you watch.
You can make your own cartoons.
His mouth's
care was
open
put
and he's
into
not
that.
saying anything.
More care was put into that than anything produced overseas recently. They get the stuff done in one day.
Walt Disney put so much effort into that because he hated Jews that much. I mean, what do you want to say?
Michael,
Maybe the
why is it, though-
anti-Semitism will bring
That's actually
back.
smeared. That's actually smeared. Walt Disney was smeared as being
Yeah,
anti-Semitic
he's
because
not.
because he was anti-communist.
Yeah.
Wait, that reminds me of this other topic we had about Dan Crenshaw. I have no idea what that's
He was
about.
the original Candace Owens. Walt Disney was the original Candace Owens.
Oh, that's great.
Somebody write that timestamp down. That's a short clip right there. Walt Disney was the original Candace Owens dash Jack Kentner, December 19th, 2024.
Yeah. But
Anyway.
go ahead, Colin.
Yeah, it was just a super hard segue. It wasn't even a segue. What you guys had Dan Crenshaw on here? What was that about?
Were
Like
you not
another topic?
sitting here while we were talking about that?
No.
Did we not?
That was
talk-
the first half hour.
Did we
Dan
talked about?
Crenshaw?
We talked about all that, didn't we?
We did not talk
No,
about
no,
Dan
we didn't
Crenshaw.
talk about Dan Crenshaw.
Wow,
Oh,
wait.
Dan
Wait, I'm
Crenshaw.
sorry. Are you okay? The gaslighting is
Not really.
crazy. From two
There's
people, that's
there's
crazy.
a topic about Dan Crenshaw
I
here.
legitimately thought
Yeah.
I was going crazy. No.
We
Y'all
don't
are
have
crazy.
a topic about Dan
You
Crenshaw.
guys are.
Dan
It's
Crenshaw.
on the thing.
We don't have that topic, but we did talk about him already.
When did we talk about him? About
Right after
how?
we removed him as a topic, then we talked about him.
Oh, okay. Sorry. That's what you meant. I'm sorry.
I don't
You talking about what is pork?
I don't know. I just saw it up there. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I don't remember seeing that. Dan Crenshaw melts down a link from X.
What?
I
Yeah,
don't know
so
what the hell you're talking about.
Oh, that's why you
he
pulled
was
it up.
getting criticized on Twitter for complaining about how much he makes. He's saying that he makes only around $20,000 a year. That's a lie. He makes close to top 10%.
Yeah,
in
huge
earnings.
joke. The bigger joke is actually
And
interesting if
Go ahead.
if the sources are to be believed anyway. But so Congress was trying to pass this fucking bullshit bill.
Gentlemen, I regret to inform you, women.
That's the exact voice I imagine him talking in. By the way, thank you, Dr. Tetanus. So it was like a 1,500 plus page bill, which you don't even have the time to read. Well, what's interesting now is they ran it through Grok, the AI on Twitter, and it quickly identified amongst a number of other bullshitty things that there was this huge pay increase for Congress, right?
Yeah, and
And
not
so-
be able to investigate Congress.
So this bill
wait.
got shut down, I believe,
It did
because
by
of
Trump and JD
the
and
backlash was enormous, and
And
so
Musk.
it's really actually a milestone in history. Is the first time you can take such a gigantic piece of legislation, run it through something like Grok or any AI, and it can identify for you the stuff that you don't have time to identify, which is why they make them that stupidly long in the first place. So yeah, so like that happened. It's done. It got shot down, and now it's an interesting, like, you know, they can't just make giant bills anymore. They'll just run them through an AI, and it'll point out the bullshit they're trying to stick in there. That's interesting.
Yeah,
I think that's worth
huge.
mentioning.
Yeah,
But Dan
wait,
Crenshaw
Mihai,
specifically,
go back to the original tweet, Dan Crenshaw tweet, because he has a total meltdown. It's
awesome.
hilarious. So scroll up, yeah. So who wants to read it? So he responds to criticism.
Me. I'll do it because he's definitely gay. Yeah, or maybe you're a fucking lying piece of shit because I'm not even on the yes list for the whip team. Never have been. But hey, whatever gets you pathetic bottom feeders, you're clickbait. Fucking incels. Okay, so he's a bottom. He just admitted he's a bottom.
Scroll down, he melts out even more.
Here he is.
Scroll down a bit more.
Number 1,000.
It's not showing.
Okay.
you can. There you go. Yeah, he flipped out on Cat Turd of all fucking people.
Cat Turd has shown his face multiple times. Why is he saying he's a coward?
I think he probably doesn't know who
Dan
that is.
Crenshaw, America last, Ukraine first war pig who doesn't need a raise because of all the money he makes when he miraculously became a stock expert since joining Congress. Now click on Dan Crenshaw's comment, Mihai.
Again,
so you can see the full thing.
And now this coward, like Cat Turd, talking shit without any evidence. I'm used to it. Sorry, I was guy fighting the wars with little bitches like you would never dare to. One of us actually served this country and continues to. Sir, we love you for your service. After that, no. While liars like you make money being trolls on social media, I live in Scotia, just outside Houston. If you think I am rich, you're a fucking idiot. These people getting rich off of politics are the influencers like Cat Turd selling their platforms to the highest bidder. Sorry to break it to y'all, that's the truth.
Quote, wait. Okay. Scotia. That looks like Atascocita.
Atascocita?
Oh, there's a lot of dyslexia on
that. Means it's a little Atascotia.
Right.
That's what Ita means.
That means you're from Texas.
A lot of dyslexia on today.
Okay. Also my
Ascock Ida.
Yeah, but
okay.
Yeah,
regardless of how you feel about Cat Turd, people can think that he's cringe, but he completely called Dan Crenshaw out on this, and he's completely wrong about how he characterizes him because Cat Turd is a veteran. He's not anonymous. He has a podcast where he shows his face and has his real name out there.
Yep.
And there's zero evidence that he is paid for. He takes money from corporation or from like higher ups to spout the
Dr. Tetanus again. Okay, I forgive you for making Crenshaw a silly Billy.
18 out of 20 achieved. We are 18 out of 20.
Oh my gosh, it's actually going to happen.
I'll be back.
I will say, like, again, I very much appreciate Jan Crenshaw for his service, but two things can be true at once. Do I thank you for your service? Yes. But have you caused more harm since leaving by just being another establishment figure that suckles off of the government's teat? Yes. And also, someone said I sound like Ben Shapiro with that voice. Just remember, I will make a Ben Shapiro reenactment at some point for all of you. Now.
Maybe that says something about Ben Shapiro.
I have a question for you guys. I am not defending Dan Crenshaw. I am not a fan of Dan Crenshaw at all. He's not elected anymore, right? Was he primaried or something? Or
no, they tried to primary him, but Trump, I think, because he's not the best at endorsements, endorsed Crenshaw, and he won 60-40.
Oh, okay, so he could be on his way out in the near future?
Yes, so, I think he's on the short list to get primaried in 26.
If you were Dan Crenshaw and you did become wealthier in other means around the same time you became like an elected official, how would you defend yourself against that claim? From Cat Turd. I'm just curious. Like, I'm not defending him. I'm just curious.
I mean...
How would you defend yourself? I'm just wondering.
Insider trading.
No, I'm saying how would you defend yourself against claims of insider trading?
Well, I mean...
Ask for proof. That's the best
way.
Well,
I mean, yeah, just do it. Like, ask to go through his tax records, the money transfers, like bring up his whole bank account minus the number and shit, and run through it for the last 3 years.
Yeah, but the problem with Dan Crenshaw is that there is proof of him doing this, so it's just a...
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but Dan Crenshaw has to be one of the most astroturf, like conservative, like politicians of all time. Like he didn't even become popular for anything he did. He got popular because Pete Davidson made fun of him on SNL. He never had any actual accomplishments for his
He
constituents.
became popular for his, again, good service to the nation and how he gave an eye for this nation, which I respect. But yes, since that point, he has not been an effective congressman. But I would still thank him for his service.
If you think about it, the Navy SEALs aren't even really the badasses.
The Navy SEALs?
That's okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there's
Who
a
are the
lot
badasses?
There's a lot of them.
Taliban, obviously.
Oh, okay.
You guys never seen the Shane Gillis bit? Because I mean, he's like, my ex-girlfriend used to date a Navy SEAL. Like, if you think about it, they're not even really that cool. Like, sneaking in there with night vision goggles, killing somebody and just going, clear. But then the Taliban's out there with their flip-flops and they're just aiming and just trying to get anything. And when they do, like, they finally get something.
That is
no body armor.
Majorly disrespectful to the military. That's all.
No shit. It's a fucking joke.
If we ever go to Austin, Texas, we need to check out a Kill Tony show as a group. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I would love to. It'd be so hard to get in there.
Making fun of veterans. Sorry.
No, he's not making.
That's
fun
a
of
line that I'm
veterans.
not going to cross.
He's not making fun of veterans. It's like obviously the opposite. Like he's saying that they are. Cool.
I'm just.
I mean, whatever.
Will I get demonetized if I pull up the bit?
Probably.
No, there's
Probably
no need.
I want to see the eye hole.
There's no need. I feel like you probably.
I've started trimming them out the next day, so our videos get put back up. So fucking play it if you want. I'll just
They
cut
are.
it out.
They are.
Wait. What's the purpose
prayers.
of playing it? I feel like you probably said it as clearly as.
Yeah, I don't know that. Yeah.
Like the point is to be made. The point is to be made. It's
Yeah,
clearly.
it's not going to be more funny for me to see it in person.
But it's not
Yeah.
disrespectful.
Well, speaking of veterans, Michael, you had another topic related to veterans with Pete Hegseth.
Oh yes.
Good thing I run the show.
Recently found out that that sucks.
You don't. I'm gonna pause it until you put the headphones back on.
I'm not listening.
Wait, how is this disrespectful though?
I guess we're just sitting here.
How is it disrespectful?
I don't like.
He's not mocking them. He's like, why did people just laugh? I don't want to break down comedy, but why do people just laugh at the fact that he said his girlfriend's ex is a Navy SEAL? Because it's much cooler to be a Navy SEAL than look like Shane Gillis.
I get the.
Like that's the joke.
I know.
And
I'm
Shane
sorry.
Gillis, I like
just
Shane
don't-
Gillis. I'm just saying, like.
I'm not a fan of comedy overall, and B, there's like I will admit it. I don't take jokes in certain areas, and military stuff is just one of them. Sorry, I just don't really care.
But what was
I
the
think
joke?
I think
Oh shit,
veterans.
Smitty vids. Thank you though.
I think some of these veterans need. I think America overall needs to have more reverence for the veterans, especially the ones.
Is a weird word.
Especially the ones who die.
You already get your own fucking parking
die
spot.
overseas.
Respect is one thing, but reverence. and
Okay, I
respect
couldn't
are
think
not
of
the
respect.
same.
Okay, sorry.
But I think like Shane Gillis, we know he respects the military. Like we know he does. Like he does. That's probably the reason why he's making a joke in the first place.
Okay.
Yeah, Shane
He's
Gillis is
showing
one
how
of the most
cool they are.
blue-collar Americans working today.
And
Like,
he's from
he's very
Pennsylvania.
in touch. Yeah.
I'm not even from PA.
He's
but
very.
anyways.
Isn't like Bud Light one of the largest donors to like wounded warriors too?
I have a lot of problems with those groups. I like Wounded Warriors, but Pete Hegseth brought to light a
Yeah,
lot of the
I
craziness
don't-
that goes on in those
Yeah.
groups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
well,
a lot of
speaking
money
of, like, Michael,
funneling.
do you want to talk about Pete Hegseth?
That
Let
was
me
a great segue.
let Mihai play the clip first
no,
if
I
he
think,
wants to.
Mihai, haven't we established it though? Like,
We have. You've seen them using the monkey bars, haven't you? You gonna tell me that's not funny?
no, Shane.
I'm not okay. Again,
Definitely not making fun of the military.
I have already said this on several occasions. The context wasn't as bad, I will admit. But I am just not an overall fan of comedy. Like I sat there and there were a couple of things that I said in my head, kind of funny. But I just don't vocalize comedy. That's why I don't really like most comedy movies. I'm just not like.
I also don't like comedy movies, but also I would
it's
say-
internalized.
You're just saying
It's
you
like-
hate all comedy now to try to stick to your point. Well, that's all right. I just fucking hate anything
Well,
funny.
the question wasn't
So
or
I'm
not. if it
still
was
right.
funny.
I would never go to a comedy show if that's
It's
what
okay
you're
to
saying.
laugh,
no.
bro.
But wait, it's not that. But the question wasn't even was it funny? It was it disrespecting the Navy SEALs?
Would you
Because
agree it
that-
was not anti-military? He was making fun of himself.
It was more. Yeah, making fun of himself.
Jack, I know you thought it was funny because I could see you laughing the whole time.
Yeah. Shane Gillis is funny. Like I
was
love
wrong.
The joke is
It
that
wasn't-
they're so badass, he had to come up with something as ridiculous as what he said in order to try to make himself feel like more of a man.
All right.
Making fun of himself.
I like when comedians laugh during their bits. That's one reason why I like Shane Gillis.
Well, this is actually a good topic for discussion because I come across this take I see frequently regarding comedy, which is comedy is best when you don't punch down. You can only punch up. And
I
that's
disagree.
something I really disagree with. And I want to get, and John, I want to get your thoughts on this specifically because I think it's trying to add ideology to comedy when really anyone is an acceptable target in my mind in comedy. It all just depends on framing and timing.
And to be clear, by the way, before John speaks, I just want to say, like, I think comedy is overall a good thing for society. I don't care what people say. I'm just never going to go to a comedy show myself or watch most comedy movies. I just don't care. That's what it is.
All right. Well, while Michael's watching Hitler speeches, I'll give you an answer.
Okay.
That's all you're going to do, I guess. I don't know. You said it, not me. Oh, no.
I'll finish Paul.
Look, Emma, did you laugh at my joke? Did you just enjoy comedy in spite of yourself?
But I would say, but people making, this is the distinction I'll make. My friends making jokes is not comedy. There's a difference between a joke being made and comedy. When you're forcing people to try to laugh,
You had my curiosity.
Oh.
Now you have my attention.
Yeah, well, we have
What
me
you
as
just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Listening to all of it?
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room
is now
dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points. And may God have mercy on your soul.
Great movie.
Wait, do you guys remember how, like, I think my first or second episode, I was like, guys, do we have, like, a soundboard for clips? And then Mihai was like, no, we're not gay. And then he just did that. That was kind of
The soundboard that plays clips didn't tip you off?
the clips, the clipboard.
You were like, man, that soundboard playing clips
Whatever.
must not be a soundboard, and it must not be for playing
I
clips.
want to show that I know all these. No.
It wasn't like I was answering Jack's direct question relevant to the topic at hand on the show we're doing. But if you want to keep going on random shit, go ahead.
How was that random?
Go ahead. Let's DEI this topic.
See,
Let's be
you're one of those
equitable.
people.
Let's include you in an equitably diverse way.
What do I like? Star Wars. I like Star Wars.
DEI backwards is IED. Doesn't no one? I've never seen anyone mention that.
Okay.
Which is improvised explosive.
Are we going to answer my question, John?
All right, yeah, your question. So, yeah, Jack, that I'm an autist like you, and so I'll give the autistic answer, which is from an autistic point of view, which is a truth-interested, a capital T truth-interested point of view. I believe nothing is sacred. I really do believe that, and I think you can make fun of anything. Somebody once said comedy is tragedy plus time. So comedy is horrible shit plus a lot of time to look back on it when you're no longer directly affected by it. What I mean, it's a lot easier to joke about Pearl Harbor right now.
Ooh.
Oh, that's 20. That's
than
20.
it would be while Japan was attacking Pearl Harbor. Oh, is that 20?
That is 20.
Take my escapism, stay raw and unforgiving.
not
Thank you,
being
Dr. Tetanus.
Go
ahead, John.
There you go. We'll anime. Well, Jack, I was just going to say in the human anthropic, if you will, world, not the non-autistic world, you do have to consider other people's feelings. So that would be the common saying of too soon. Well, that's tragedy plus not enough time is not comedy yet. Too soon. There are such things. You play to your audience. Somebody like me probably no such thing as too soon. I could be getting bitten by a shark, and you could make fun of me as I was being dragged under the waves, and I'd cackle a little bit. I'd also be like, fucking sharks eating me, that sucks. It would offset any sort of humor I was experiencing. But I mean, I don't know. It's kind of, I like to think if I saw a shark eating me, I'd kind of laugh a little bit. I mean, that's fucking ridiculous.
You'd have to be able to.
I'd punch it. At least I want one punch it. I want one of you to see me punch it.
Carry that out in a way that's not cringe, like the spy that's like,
Yeah.
oh, and then like is dying and inserts like
Also,
this funny
Kale.
joke. You know that
What?
stereotype where it's like a superhero or a spy or something.
No.
Protagonist going through something really bad, and then they say something that they think is kind of funny. That's just like such a meme of itself. So if you're gonna do it correctly.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Anyway,
it's an age.
Kale, to add on to the point that like about comedy that you were trying to make about me earlier.
Wasn't answering a question or anything.
I may.
Wasn't answering. No, I wasn't. I'm saying I was not answering the question. So go ahead. Are we doing this?
So okay. Anyway, as he does that,
how blue are those mountains?
like,
Not
for
very
instance,
blue.
A couple days ago, I saw.
not sponsored by Forest Light.
I saw Elf fully through for the first time, and And my autistic self, I hate cringe. Like that, half of that movie, I
All right,
just
we're gonna
sat
stop
there.
talking about Elf for a second, and we're gonna watch Mihai chug this 16-ounce Coors Light out of the Russian war helmet with the leather padding inside.
I feel like another camera deserves to see this.
Everyone, including chat. Chant, chug.
Yeah, we're gonna do a little. We'll see if we like this one. But there's a classic rugby one, and it goes like this. It goes, "Here's to Mihai. He's true blue. He's a piss pot through and through. He's a bastard, so they say. We tried to go to heaven, but he went the other way, and then down. So." Here's to Mihai, he's true blue. He's a piss pot through and through. Shit, fuck.
Please
He's
don't
a bastard, so they say. Tried to go to heaven, but he went the other way. He went down. Oh, party foul.
I see why the German friend was struggling here.
Yeah, there's not a
The
good.
angle of it does not really like make it actually.
The angle of the dangle is inversely proportional to the heat of your meat.
Okay, there's a microphone.
Go. Yeah, just.
Yeah, it just all comes at once.
Oh,
Imagine all
drink
the
out of
different
the
types
drink out of the back part. The back part's not so like wide.
Imagine all the different types of dandruff from all the different types of men. That
Donald Trump's okay. He's approved. He's like he's double thumbs up. He's Siskel and Eberting you.
I can see little bits of metal getting.
That's bone, bro. That's bone.
Is that a real helmet?
Yeah, it's a war helmet. I repainted it.
Like I said,
That's not
imagine
Wait,
all
you
the
gotta
different
put it
types of
on.
I'm not putting it on.
that's in there.
I can see why you're not.
I'm gonna keep it real. I did not finish the whole thing. There's a lot of metal that was slowly making its way towards my mouth, and I just had to make an executive decision that I had to call. I had to call it there.
Dr. Tetanus was here to help you.
Dr. Tetanus, yeah, he is here if we need him.
There's the meme magic right there. You're gonna get fucking tetanus.
Have I told you my tetanus story?
No, but I want to hear it.
Like 3 months ago, I stepped on a 150-year-old nail.
Oh, in your house? Yeah, fuck.
And I work construction, so I cut myself on rusty things like probably once a week. And I always like, fucking, what even is tetanus? Like, how can it be real? If anyone would ever get it, it would be me.
Only 500 people have actually officially gotten tetanus, by the way, before the shot became a thing in over 150 years of America's existence.
Right,
tetanus shots shouldn't be a thing.
501 now.
Sorry, go back.
Hey, Mia, were you telling a story?
I was. I know I've
You stepped on a 150-year-old nail.
stepped on a 150-year-old nail. And I was it was the day of Ag Progress Days, and I had to go out there, so I didn't have time to go to like doctor or anything. But it went straight through my foot, like through the webbing in between my toes. And just went and like a cartoon scream, just pulled it out. Kept going about my day. About like 6 hours later, I finally take my boot off. My whole sock's just red, full of blood. And then I go to bed, and I wake up in the middle of the night with like I can't breathe, like my nose is so stuffed up, and I literally can't move my body. And it was at that moment I said, "Oh shit." Maybe this whole tetanus thing might be real. Maybe I do go to a doctor. So I got my first tetanus shot right after that.
Did you like get tetanus or some shit or?
I don't know. The doctor that gave me the shot had a gay flag on her lanyard, so she was very unqualified for her job.
Not added to the 500 who got tetanus. So RFK.
Maybe you were healthy until the moment you sat down in her doctor's chair, and that's when it all started going wrong.
No, I think the fact that I literally couldn't move might lend to her case.
Matthew Rice said, "Did the nail buy you a drink at least?"
No, just roofies.
Okay, so
kind of that your boot didn't like you fucking jumped on this
No, it was a cowboy boot. And it was my old pair.
Oh.
Okay, so
wait, a quick thing before I forget. Friend of the channel,
Couple
Christian
inches,
Watson asks,
maybe an inch and a half.
says, friend of the channel, Christian Watson says, Bob Dylan in its All Right Ma described a fallen world as having the characteristic where nothing was considered sacred. Thoughts, John and Mihai? Since you're a musician yourself, you might have thoughts on this too. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, I like Christian a lot. I was glad we had him on the show. I'll give him like a somewhat serious answer, but I don't believe a world where nothing is sacred can function with the current state of the way people are. However, I think a world full of people like me would get along without any violence at all.
That's
with
the
that
most
sort
humble
of belief.
thing you've ever said.
I don't mean humble. I'm talking in terms of like variables and dropping different people in different places. So if you take a person that believes nothing is said, and I don't mean says that, but actually believes it. And then you populate the world with all people like that. That's going to be one thing anyway that they don't fight over. So in my case, no. Like, yeah, do I get offended? Yeah, like it's happened. It's mostly in the past.
Thank you, Dr. Tetanus.
But the only things I really get offended about anymore are like personal actions that are kind of dumb that affect people, but it's never about my personal appearance or things I believe in, if there even are such things anymore.
So like comments that aren't really jokes, but just more so like insults or to just like
I would say to Christian Jack that I would split the world into two loose categories of people. There's adults and there's children, and in a world of adults, nothing is sacred. It's something an adult can understand, but I also think adults would act how I told you earlier, which is, there's such a thing as too soon or wrong time or not the right person, and you just don't follow through on your need to be acerbic with your wit, so to speak. There's some times where it's just, even though there's no logical reason you're not allowed to, you just don't do it anyway. It's kind of like legal versus lawful. It's actually something that gets played around with our laws a lot. This concept of, is it legal or is it lawful? I mean, it's not illegal to say a bunch of racist shit running down the street in a sense, but like that's not something you would really want to do if you cared about the people you were shouting at.
Really?
But I'm allowed to.
Have you done that before?
No, but I feel like more and more of a compulsion to do it every day, specifically because I keep being told I can't. So I'm a contrarian too. So, but I mean, I think in an adult way, as a Christian is right, is you can't operate starting from day one with every person in your society, from child to dying old person, saying nothing is sacred. No, there has to be some sort of cohesive, sanctified ritual about which you collectively revolve.
Good answer.
Or you're not a society.
I agree.
I just want to say we are at 8 o'clock. It's your guys' call what we do here.
I'm down to keep on going.
I mean,
I don't think we have many topics left.
No, okay, so we haven't gotten to the CNN freed the Assad sympathizer, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
And
Staged.
then Nick Fuentes' assassination attempt, and Pete Hegseth flip-flopping on women and LGBTQ people being allowed in the military.
I actually think the Hegseth topic would be really interesting to get into, but we can go through all of them if you guys are up for it.
Why don't we pick one and go through that, since we're going to do more than one show a week now. We don't have to feel so locked into
then
saying
let's do
every single...
Pete Hegseth one, since it's the oldest.
Pete
I agree.
I'm fine with that.
This came out like 8 days ago now. It's very old.
Who's taking the lead?
Well, I mean, I guess I will.
It's Michael's topic,
Yeah, so Pete Hegseth has been known since leaving the military when he was on Fox and Friends to denounce that LGBTQ people and women should be allowed within the United States military to serve the nation. He makes some justifiable points, but recently on his way to try to get confirmed, he is now backtracking on some of that, saying that LGB should be able to have military service and women can have military service as well. Personally, I think that honestly, I don't really have much of an opinion on this beyond just the beyond
your topic.
Yes, I know. I don't have much of an opinion.
This is the one out of the 8 you chose to talk
You're
about.
like, hey, here's a thing that happened. I don't really care about it, but it happened.
Let me finish. Let me finish. Thank you. So, I think it's more interesting with this topic to go about how the media is going about this topic.
Okay.
Good point. The media is treating Pete Hegseth now he was already treated terribly by the media, but because of this, the media is now basically throwing even more stones at him. This was the one thing that could not be said. And personally, I just feel like, why does it really matter? He served in the military. He kind of has experience for what the military has done. He was a colonel when he got out, so he has to know something about the military. And these media people haven't been in the military, so it's just, okay. Kali.
No. I don't want you to just shut up if I open my mouth.
Okay. Anyway, the whole
was her mouth matching her words? Just asking.
Yes.
Okay.
Was she badly animated?
Anyway, so also to add on to this, why, in a perfect society, I'm going to be honest, it should just be men in the military. But also, I would also disagree with that. A lot of the people, because it's a back and forth conversation.
Argue with yourself.
Yes, I argue with myself all the time.
I believe this, but I also don't believe it.
Actually,
there's a lot of people in the military there's a lot of women in the military who really do their jobs well and take the military extremely seriously. So
Yeah.
Dr. Tennis flip-flops on women instead of just laying on them.
Yeah, well, Michael, I'm glad that you picked this as a topic because it's very interesting. My whole perspective on eligibility for the military is that people don't have an intrinsic right to join, and they can turn people away if they are deemed to be more so of a burden than an asset.
Well,
when you look at this from the perspective of people, transgender troops, specifically those that have gender dysphoria, they have to spend several hours dilating or dealing with issues any other person with a chronic condition would have, then it would make sense to discharge them. However, if you're gay or lesbian, you don't really have those same chronic or mental conditions. So to me, I just who cares?
So,
I guess the crux of the topic for me was they're making something out of what I personally think is nothing.
So okay, I
Yeah.
think you guys are giving too much credit to because I was wondering why I have not heard this. Can we go back to the article, please? Guys, this article is from Out. There's no reason for me to believe what these people are saying. Because if Pete Hegseth was anti-LGB, whatever, skip the T, then I think this would have been a story much long ago. No, he's probably just anti, because I've watched him on the Sean Ryan show talk about this. What he said is he's anti-transgender people being in the military. And to out, that means he's anti-LGBT, which is just not true, being in the military. And two, I don't think he has explicitly ever said, at least not that I'm aware of, that women shouldn't be in the military. It's that women shouldn't be on the front lines. So this is just a false premise. Because I was Googling this. I was like, why haven't I seen this? And then the closest thing I could find was CNN talking about this. And they didn't bring up anything of this. So then I was like, oh, where are we reading this from? And it's literally gay.
Well, it should be noted that the website we were on literally has a tab called LGBTQ plus voices.
It's out. If people are not aware of out is like the CNN or MSNBC.
Hey, click that shop tab. Let's see what we can buy.
It's also part of the overall picture.
Or what's just the transgender tab?
Where it's just Cully, for instance, why do I care? The premise here,
there you go.
of it, even if he was to say those things, why do I personally care? Because it's not
I mean, I care. If I were conservative and then a liberal person was being considered for this exact thing.
Whoa.
What?
Oh my God.
What is this?
Oh my God, it's $50.
Wait a minute, what is it?
Oh, that's scary.
What does it say?
Jump scared.
Health?
Vaginal health, increased wetness.
Oh my God. I'll just
Matthew Rice, I agree.
Vaginal.
How does soaking wet function?
Matthew Rice, I agree with you, but the standard should be that overall you should have a certain competence level to be in the military, and that you should be physically fit. We've become very lax on the physically fit aspect, and I think that's what we need to focus on the most is becoming physically fit, having a physically fit force again.
This is a scary episode. It went from bad to worse, fry pan to fire. I know this is crazy. What do we have on the screen here? Well, but yeah, I know. I think the premise is more important. The entire story is the article, and the article is false. So I'm just no one else is talking about this because this is not a story. In fact, quick thing. This is kind of good news for me personally because I'm the sexual misconduct allegations have not stuck. And that's the reason why we're talking about stuff that doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, that's a great thing.
That's a great thing. It's a great thing. They have to find something else to talk about.
Yeah, Collie, I do think it opens up a conversation about DEI initiatives in the military because ideally, what should the military be? To me, I think it's just being an efficient combat force. And while you can, and I think the question is this: Does women having an increased role in the military, specifically in combat roles, drastically improve the military against foreign threats?
I would agree.
Wait,
well, okay.
That's not. But okay, I'm gonna have to just. I hate to sound. I'm just gonna have to disagree with the whole thing. Pete Hegseth was already going to bring these issues to the forefront. That's why people had a problem
it
with
doesn't
him.
have anything to do with Pete Hegseth. It's just like in general.
No, but I'm just saying, like, with a Trump administration, I'm expecting for there to be a crackdown regardless of who gets approved by the Senate or whatever. But the specific story of this becoming a bigger issue post, like, it's been like 3 or 4 weeks since they announced he was going to be the guy that Trump was going with, is because people are saying, like, oh, wait, it's one thing to say women shouldn't be on the front lines, but it's a crazier thing to say women shouldn't be in the military at all. And I'm like, no one is saying that other than Out Magazine. Like, that's my point. Everyone knows that there's going to be some kind of reform.
So is that a
to the
straw
military.
man they're doing? Is that what you call that?
I think us even talking about it is a straw man of a straw man.
The whole reason why I attached the article is because I wanted to get into the conversation of.
How did you hear about the story?
I had heard the story from.
He regularly reads that magazine.
No, I actually
he subscribes to Out.
I had attached it because some of the because I had seen it on several accounts I follow on Twitter, and I was like, okay, let's actually read this. And then it was by that magazine. I was like, I couldn't find the clips of it, but I still wanted to attach the article because I wanted to hear from y'all what your opinions were about like the fighting force, if women should be allowed on the front lines. To me, that was the more important story.
Yeah,
and what
no
it says about the media
taking
as a
women
whole.
out of the military, like in total, like no.
No,
one
I
is
do not
discussing that.
think I'll take a stand here for the sake of discussion. I don't think women should be in combat roles.
Okay, that's not.
I'm aware of two arguments for that. One is to protect women, and one is to protect men.
That's not an unpopular take. That's Pete Hegseth's exact take. Actually, that's his exact take.
I only have popular takes. I say my takes when they're not popular,
you,
but then
Shank.
they come out of my mouth, become popular.
Shank.
Yeah, John, I completely agree because
I just chinked on you.
what the left doesn't
said that.
understand
I
is,
said that.
I
is
know
that
that
there
I
are
said it. Now
biological
it's my saying.
Okay.
What the left doesn't understand is that there are biological there are biological differences between men and women, and if our military is 50% made up of men and 50% made up of women, there's going to be an awkward situation where they have to fight an enemy force that's 100% men. I think just looking at the military and saying it needs to be absolutely equal in all circumstances is stupid.
So who's
See, I think I feel like I have a good thought on this. So the problem with women in combat roles is it forces you to confront internally the possibility that your own teams, your own country's male soldiers can't really be fucking trusted around women. And I happen to agree with that. Now, I like to think I myself, in a world full of just me, it'd all be fine. But it's not, unfortunately, a world full of John Warrens. I see your face. Hold on.
I mean, these military women aren't having sex with your average
you want
enlisted
the kind of guy
infantryman.
that goes into a combat role, the kind of man who goes into a combat role and performs in a way you would want someone to perform in a combat role, that is by definition the exact kind of guy that you don't want women around.
I wholeheartely disagree.
Yeah, that's just not a good take.
While he's in that role, I'm saying, not when he's back home in the United States with his wife and kids on the swing set. Then that's not the same thing.
No.
So I want to hire a guy to kill people.
Real quick,
and I want him to perform to the best of his abilities. Then
Real
I'm
quick,
not
I
going
need
to
to
have
address-
any women around him for both his sake and theirs.
I need to
Not
address
because
someone
I
in the
think that
chat.
the guy is going to assault the woman, but I think it's.
I do think they're going to assault
but
the
there
women.
there are other things that are more important that are not necessarily more important. There are other things that are more obvious.
Sandman Trials, real quick. My grandfather, who had told that story to my dad, died in 2009.
Is this
so
the
he
same subject?
He was never going to hear that story. I appreciate you telling me, though. I told my dad, which is important for him to know. I do appreciate that, but yeah, no, that grandfather is 15 years off this earth. So
of all the things of all the issues that are associated with women in combat roles, that's just like not necessarily the top 5 or 10. The problem is that people won't be able to do their jobs because they care for innocent people and they'll try to protect women more than they would.
It's also that women will fuck up combat. You're skipping that part.
That's exactly what I just said.
No, you said it's about protecting women. It's not. It's also about protecting men
I am not. No,
from women in combat.
But that's not what I said. I'm saying I'm worried about men wanting to protect women and then they don't do their jobs properly.
No,
I mean, Pete Hegseth,
you'll get a
play the
dude who
clip,
has
he'll
no
say it.
interest in protecting women, and he'll still get fucked over by some woman in a combat
Those
role.
are all true. I'm just saying.
Because
Those are
he'll
like
get
top-
shot, and she can't carry his ass.
Those are all true.
And he
They're
might
all
hate
true.
her from before he gets shot in it. He might hate her. He might be the biggest misogynist on the planet.
Is there not value in keeping tier 1 operators' legs loose though?
What?
You got to keep them in the game, give them some action.
Not in the middle of a firefight.
If you want them to do the most primal, manly things, you have to feed the most primal. If you want them to do the most primal, manly things, you have to feed them with the most primal, manly thoughts.
Yes, that's in between firefights. Yes.
Yeah, but they still have to be in a combat zone.
You left all the prostitutes from the people you're conquering.
No, that's how you get blood diamond AIDS.
This gets weird
To
because now we're
play devil's advocate here, by the way.
You don't want to be throwing out a clip out into the fucking Taliban and then fucking pumping a girl 3 times and then shooting another clip and then you're not fucking at two. This isn't Jason Statham and Crank, Mihai.
We don't need this.
To play devil's advocate,
Their
it has
hearts
been shown
can slow down
that
just a little bit once in a while.
It has been shown that women can be more pragmatic in combat roles. However,
what the fuck studies you fucking pulled
literally
up
never
with?
been shown.
No, I said I'm playing devil's fucking advocate here.
Okay, and I'm asking you where you're getting that from.
We shot that down real quick.
Well, okay, and
we archangeled your devil's advocate.
And again, I disagree with that point, but you know, like the whole premise here.
This isn't is there one woman out there who could be good in combat? Yes, I agree. There's one out there. There's probably, damn it, there's probably 2. There's probably 2 out there that would be good in combat.
One of them's Colin.
But when you're running a military of millions of people, then you just say no.
Who's arguing for women in combat roles?
You guys.
Nobody's
crazy.
I wasn't arguing. Nobody was arguing that there was no.
Jack was.
You're arguing that they
shouldn't. What are you talking about?
You're saying only pro-female reasons for why they shouldn't be, and I'm saying that I want an anti-female reason in there as well.
No, I have anti-female reasons. I said that.
Women,
You said that they're going to get raped.
Oftentimes,
that's what you said.
No,
because women oftentimes make sexual abuse scandals out of nothing, and then they get the guy kicked out of the military.
No, that's not the point.
Then,
the guy's like, hey, I need artillery shells, and she's like, I don't know which ones, and he's like, send me a picture of them, and I'll tell you which one, and she sends it to her ass.
Yep.
You can't see the fucking artillery shells.
Yep.
That really happened, by the way.
Okay, again,
I read it in WAPO.
Again, as I said before, it all boils down to biological differences. The military is a merit-based system. If you don't meet the standards, then you shouldn't be in combat.
I would agree.
Well, do we want to just? I've had this up here for a while. Do we want to just listen to his own words?
Look at this in the context of like sports.
No, I just want to argue with him.
Anyone
I just want to make assumptions and argue based on those.
Jack, who's disagreeing with you?
Look at this in the context of sports. Like ask any person who would win. Like a football team made up fully of men, or a football team made up half of men and half of women. Everyone saying it would be the latter team is an idiot. And
Leah from UPenn's swimming team would disagree with you.
Why can't we apply this to the military?
Is the women's team tranny men though? Is it tranny men? Because then they might win.
No, but what about how they feel in their heart, Jack? That's a point that you made a few weeks ago.
Do these women have penises, Jack?
Whatever it is, Jack.
What's the penis situation on these women?
This has become a non-topic. Got it. Are we going to cover another one, or are we done here?
If we were to play the
a woman cannot lift an artillery shell. Yeah, there's real world reasons. Yeah, you got to be strong enough to carry your buddy off the battlefield.
Yeah,
okay,
you just gotta.
Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Breaking news: Nick Fuentes allegedly threatened by gunmen.
Okay.
Women should be astronauts instead.
That dumb bitch drilling holes in the space station.
So, okay. So. We're moving on to the Nick Fuentes topic.
It's true. Yeah, I think she was the one that attacked Nick Fuentes.
Okay, so Jack, do you want to lead them? Jack, do you want to lead Nick Fuentes?
Nobody will ever know what Pete Hegseth says.
I gave a brief review in the beginning, so.
Yeah, but this is probably going to be a quicker story. So Nick Fuentes was targeted at his home allegedly by an armed gunman, and he kept on calling out for his name, and he posted, "He's now dead. I'm okay." Okay, yeah. Last night, an armed killer made an attempt on my life at my home, which was recently doxed on this platform. The gunman carried a pistol, crossbow, and incendiary devices. I believe he intended to kill me. He's now dead. I'm okay. And if you go to his his account, he actually posts a video.
There was a thread. Well, Jack, there was a whole thread. Later on in the thread, he shows that guy had actually killed people earlier that day with these weapons. Really? Yes, and that he had he was wanted for the deaths of 3 people earlier that day, or 2 or 3 people, and now he appears at Nick Fuentes' door
look
later
at the bottom comment, and you're going to be proud of yourself.
Shameful?
No, it was AD. Who's the woman in the bikini on the thumbnail?
We never even got to that story.
Sorry.
Yeah, but I think you can play this because I don't think he dies here, so we're not going to get age restricted.
Wait, so
well, Jack, it doesn't need
still
played.
will.
Yeah, Jack, it
Someone doesn't need to die for it to be age restricted.
Yeah.
I mean, someone doesn't
Okay.
need to die for it to be age restricted.
Cobra Tate.
Let's not put ourselves in
The whole point. Okay, so the whole point of the topic is this kind of goes back onto what we've been talking about the last few weeks about is it justified to kill people like this? And the answer is no. It's just to build on what Kale and I and
What?
Jack have
What?
been talking about the
What?
last few weeks.
how do you get? That's the exact opposite position of what you've argued.
Because it's related to the CEO thing.
What?
I wanted to bring it up to.
No, that's not stirring a
No,
pot.
no.
That's lying. That's lying. That's just lying.
Okay, how is that?
Oh,
Okay,
we believe in
whatever.
self-defense. What the heck?
Okay, yes, but
we talk
no,
about-
I'm talking about from the gunman's perspective.
I think the
Kale,
chat
not
has a
Nick's-
good point, which is
not
why
Nick's
did he have a
perspective.
fucking crossbow?
I'm
It's
talking.
hunting
He
season.
thought he was LARPing as Daryl Dixon.
Okay. Anyway, Mihai, you had a topic about a woman. Now I'm interested. So. you
Whoa!
talk
First
about
time
that.
we'll hear that one.
Okay, Mihai, bring up that.
That was low hanging.
Oh, yeah, that's why we laughed.
Yeah,
Do we need to talk about comedy again? It was tragedy
Okay.
plus
Well,
time.
Yeah,
Mihai.
but let's actually close on this topic first. So, I
guess we're
we
wrapping
said
up.
last, what we said
No,
last
we're
week,
talking-
Michael, was that what we said last week, Michael, is that we felt that Luigi would inspire more people to act out in situations like this. I don't know if this guy was inspired by Luigi or whatever. We're gonna have to wait for the facts to come out, but I think it is something very so to take note of is how people will react, of how leftists and other certain people will react to a Trump presidency. Like, will they be radicalized into committing shootings, like targeting people? And it's a very valid fear that people or should have and like prepare for, at least in my mind.
Yeah. Jack, not gonna lie to you, I'm very interested in this other story. I actually legitimately am. Mihai, like
I'm
we have
closing.
not gotten to
I just
any.
closed it.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to
done.
any of your stories. So come on, Mihai, what's this last topic? I'm very interested, or at least the next one anyway.
It's not a topic on like of itself, but we can just skip to this part of it, I guess.
Let's do it.
So the Washington Redskins are trying to build a new stadium, and that is somehow included in the omnibus funding that got shut down. But
yeah,
that was sort of the greater conversation. I mean, this is a big conversation as a whole. It's been going on in America. Should your tax dollars pay for new stadiums, or should billionaires build their own stadiums? Seems pretty easy to say billionaires should build their own stadiums, but then it gets a little more complicated because if you build a new NFL stadium, that it's almost a guarantee the Super Bowl comes to your city that year, and that can generate a lot of money for the local area.
Okay.
Along with also, if you build new indoor stadiums, you can host events all year round, like concerts and bull riding or basketball games or whatever the hell it may be. Whereas you have an outdoor stadium. They also have the worst stadium in the NFL as it currently stands.
Chill out. FedEx Field is not that bad. Come on, that's my home.
Do you want me to pull up all the videos of the sewage pipes leaking
I
on
lived
people
right by
during
there
games?
in my youth.
Ew, really?
I love FedEx Field. That's
I'm not an
that's my
NFL
home.
guy. I'm just a college
That's
football
Go Skins. Go Skins. Go Skins. I'm ride or die for the Skins. It's okay.
guy. Okay.
Just say your story without so much hate.
But why would the government?
I'm just saying that it's a nuance. I think it's a lot of people just
The
think,
point is just that this bullshit, which is called pork,
Yeah.
is buried into this 1,547 page bill they were trying to pass that's ostensibly about operating the government. This has nothing to do with that. What would happen in a just world is this funding bill would have been proposed separately and on its own, and then you would have voted on just that.
My whole thing is if they
subject.
wanted to replace this stadium or whatever, why don't they just get money from the local community? Because it's getting put back into the local community.
The entire intention with this and everything else, yeah, there you go. What is pork in politics? In politics, pork refers to the allocation of government spending for projects that are intended to benefit, this is the key part, a particular politician's local area or constituents, often to enhance their chances of re-election. This practice is also known as pork barrel politics or pork barrel spending. So the stadium was a little piece of pork in this giant bill specifically for whoever the local DC person is to help them get reelected. And
Mario Bowser.
yeah, it's just that it's not a weird proposed bill in and of itself. Hey, we need a new stadium. All right, let's talk about that. Let's vote on that.
Actually,
that's not weird.
I think that's weird for the federal government to
Well,
deal
you
with.
got
It's a local level thing.
No,
again.
not when it costs $3 billion.
Okay.
And that's where all the local, like me, I was saying, the businesses will benefit in some ways. And that's true.
But like Penn State, like for instance, if they were to come instead of just renovating Beaver Stadium, if they wanted to remake the whole thing, we wouldn't go down to DC. Because we're like...
Yeah, it would be the equivalent of having Beaver Stadium be renovated for $3 billion.
Yeah, but
in the same fucking bill.
State College isn't a federal entity.
Oh, wait, so it's within the District of Columbia? I think that's
It
what
is the DC Stadium, but it has nothing to do with the operation of the federal government at all. And this happens all the time. And it's like the names of bills themselves are misleading, just like the People's Republic of China is misleading.
Yeah,
it's the same bullshit.
I agree, but also does it not factor into any of this that this is the capital? Because they chose the Skins, not some random other team that needs a stadium.
I mean that's true.
Like, and I don't know.
There probably
I don't
is
agree. I'm
something
just
unique
saying.
to it being DC that they were able to like do this and it's not illegal. Like, well, it's DC, but like,
Again, I just don't understand why
Hey, Dan Snyder's box. This was an act of God. This was not the FedEx Field being terrible. It was God's way of telling Dan Snyder to sell the.
That's sewage.
I love that place. I don't care.
really wanted to renovate it, again, why wouldn't they just make it a local proposal?
It cannot be. I don't
funded by
think
local
it can
taxpayers, because then it would benefit those local taxpayers in the long run, theoretically, of course.
There's a reason.
I would assume the reason they don't do it that way is because if people looked closely at what specifically they were doing, they'd be like, that ain't $3 billion. That's like
Yeah, that's also
$300 million. You added a zero.
That's also true.
$3 billion's a lot. I have,
Yeah, why actually debate it when you can just shove it into this thing no one reads and pass it without anyone even knowing it's in there? That's the real intent.
It's lazy.
I didn't know that
But I have
stadium was
problems.
within. I
This
thought it
is
was
my-
within Maryland. I did not know that
FedEx,
stadium.
I'm not from DC. I'm from Maryland. FedEx Field is in Maryland.
Oh, it is.
FedEx Field is in
Fairfax,
Landover.
is
Which county?
This is my topic. Okay, I love this topic.
Which county?
Prince George's County. That's where I'm from.
So
PG.
So if DC's like this, is it the north one or is it the south?
That's not really how that
Southeast
works.
or northeast?
Maryland is above both, and like Virginia is above both.
DC right here. So here's the river, right? Okay, so it's opposite to you. So actually, DC right here, river. Is it the northern one or the southern one? Because there's two that border DC on the Maryland side. Which one?
It's on Earth.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm not trying to be
You're
difficult.
talking to a woman in a combat zone right now, Michael.
I'm not.
And
sure,
this is
sure,
precisely
sure
why.
Is a combat zone.
Is the artillery coming in from above us or below us? Oh, we're dead. We had Kale in with us.
We're on the east. I don't know how else to explain.
You say it's coming from somewhere over that. Bam, we're dead.
Okay, look. So
we're
it's
in
it's the southeast one.
This is why you don't want women in
No,
combat
no.
roles.
See, look. There's
Can
the
I
north
finish?
This is
one.
why.
There's
Can I
the
talk?
south
Can I
one.
talk?
This
Can I
is
talk?
why.
What is the point you're trying to make here, Michael?
Bombs are going off around us.
I'm not even gonna
Kale,
make that
where
point.
are they coming from?
I'm not even letting you
Hold
make that
on,
point.
I'm not even going to listen to you, John. It's just a bomb. It's just a bomb.
Prince George's County has 1 million people. Prince George's County is one of the largest.
I know there's
counties
shells going off
in the
around you,
entire
but
country.
Prince George's
So you
County
can't just
has
say
the most
it's-
people in the entire country. You can't just say that these shells are dangerous.
You added a lisp when you're like.
That's what you sound like.
I have a lisp.
Everyone sounds different to themselves
It's
because you
Vietnam
hear yourself.
now.
No, you're schizophrenic.
Through
We've been
the
waiting to tell you this.
found
acoustics
us.
of your own.
You're
Can I get a little cop car effect? Can we get the cop car effect? I'm having a seizure
bad boy.
right now.
What you gonna
Do what you gonna
Hey, wait, you're in Bowie? Ralphie Maggio. You're in Bowie. No way. Did you go to
Sweep
Bowie
the
High
leg.
School?
Anyway, call it. I was just
Cops
wondering
are here.
because I'm a
I hate
geography geek. I'm a
putting that out
geography
there.
geek. I was just wondering because
It's central.
needed
It's
to know
central
placement.
Maryland, and we're on the east side of DC, like southeastern. But PG County, but PG's huge.
So again, the fact that you still haven't established where this place is why you don't want women in combat zones. I just want to drive this point home.
John has a convincing list.
In terms
Interesting.
of guys, in terms of
Pretty good
overall
at it.
location, it is
I'm a
located south
chameleon.
and east.
So
I camel like a
the reason
chameleon.
why I don't
toe.
necessarily feel as bad for like this whole stadium situation or whatever, we had RFK and we didn't take care of it, and then they just stopped using it. Every team wants a new stadium every other day. The Nats want a new stadium, and they have an amazing stadium in the center of the city. It's like these people suck. You know, they're doing the same thing. Have you been?
Tell
there?
me more about DC.
The same thing is, I mean, a great story probably for this.
Are there buildings there?
would have been.
Are there people there? Tell me more.
There are people like you. Yeah, but no. Another great story would have been like they're doing the
another
same
one?
thing in Philly. They're trying
Philly.
to put the Sixers
Are there buildings
Stadium.
there? Are there people there?
They're trying to put the Sixers Stadium, Carroll County. Oh, okay. I'm from PG, but anyways, I'm not saying where I live. Anyways, but yeah.
Carroll County.
Anyway,
Just with those rich men north of Richmond.
Those rich men north of Richmond.
that could have been enough.
Overtime pay.
They're moving the 76ers
Didn't that guy
Stadium
quit?
350
into
pounds.
the center of Philadelphia, even though no one wants it,
Philadelphia.
just to make money, which is sad.
Redskins.
It's happening all over the country.
The skins have been red.
How do you feel?
Great.
What's your heartbeat right now?
Like 20 BPM, beats per minute. Beats per arc minutes, the amount of time the Earth rotates in 1 minute of arc.
How many fingers?
So, Jack, you don't think that Native Americans have been
changed it.
wrongfully done?
I'm sorry?
You don't think Native Americans have been wrongfully done?
They've been done wrong. They've been wrongfully done.
Way to go, former.
You don't think the red man is right to expect a
I've
little
never
from you?
heard wrong. I like that.
Yeah,
They've been
so
not
this
done
actually
wrong.
ties into the ongoing debate over the Yellowstone finale. I'm not going to say what it is because you didn't want spoilers. But
Well, you put an article and I already fucking read it.
They give the land back to the natives.
There's this really unhealthy fetishization of Native Americans in the past. And
Oh, do you
people
mean
have
that
this
they were
weird-
civilized?
The white ones or the imposters?
People seem to think, white or otherwise.
Just goes with it.
People seem to think that they were like very peaceful when they weren't. Like
No.
they killed each other. They didn't even really own the land. They frequented the land. They were nomads. They traversed across the land, but they didn't really own it. Our guys, the colonists, were the ones that actually built civilization that actually built civilization. And in the end, in a way, the Native Americans didn't really lose. They more so won because they get to be a part of the greatest civilization on the planet. And this is the message we should be hammering home. Not that we stole, quote unquote, their land, which was never really stolen.
I disagree. I think we should say we stole it and just be unapologetic.
Jack, the way you worded that was fantastic. I just want you to know that is the best minute you've ever said in your entire life. That was great.
That was in the chat, Matthew Rice.
Yeah. Well, John,
I
John,
frequent the land.
John, I think a better approach would be we didn't steal it, we conquered it, and
we did conquer it.
Yeah.
I think when the Native Americans say, you white people came to our homeland and took our land, and took our people, and took our money and resources, and took everything from us, and then put us in slave plantations, that's what you did to us. I think we should look them right in the eye and go, yeah.
That's what winners do.
Yep.
Andrew Jackson, a very based president.
Yes, we did.
I think if there's,
That was pretty bad.
I think
just my take.
I actually, for the American people at the time, they're like, it kind of makes sense. I'm not saying
Trail of Tears was not humane for
the Trail of Tears was not humane, but like the logic behind it made sense.
Makes me want to listen to that old Europa song, Cherokee.
Cherokee people.
No,
One of the funniest fucking songs. There's this song by Europa.
I'm thinking of Ira
Oh no,
Hayes.
Europe, not Europa. You're just straight up Europe.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck is Europa?
I was thinking of.
My head was in a different place.
I'm thinking
Sorry.
of
Isn't
Johnny
that like a
Cash.
song?
Europa's the homeland.
Europa? No, Europa's a real thing. It's a
fucking
championship for
Europe.
soccer. No, the Europa Cup.
That's how
Europa
you say
League.
Europe and not American.
Europa League.
They say
Champions League.
Europa.
It's a real thing. Europa.
Yeah.
Cherokee. There's this hilarious band called Europe. They have another great song. I think it's called Hold the Line. Love isn't always on time. Yeah, it just doesn't even make sense. Like what?
That's
what are you,
Toto. What are you talking about?
That's Toto.
Yeah.
That's Africa.
Yeah, well, no, that's Africa.
No, Toto is also Hold the Line.
Toto is Hold the Line. That's Toto.
Love isn't always.
Well, that song's also fantastic.
Africa.
But anyway, Europe. I'm pretty sure. I thought you don't have to play it, but I thought you were gonna at least verify. Is it Europe has Trail of Cherokee? Cherokee is the name of the song.
Okay. What about Johnny Cash's like whole album dedicated to Native Americans? That's actually decent. It's called.
It wasn't.
It is
I've never
Cherokee
heard it.
song by Europe.
It's Cherokee by Europe. Incredible.
Okay.
He made an album about Native Americans. You
Yes.
said? Yeah, then it wasn't good.
Listen
I don't
to
even.
The
Nah, I don't
Ballad
need
of
to.
Ira Hayes.
Nah, it was bad.
Johnny Cash is one of the greatest
Nah,
musicians
it
of
was
all
terrible.
time.
Yeah, it was a bad album though.
Okay.
So I actually take this. I think that there's no minority group in America that has been more wrongfully done than the Native Americans.
Wrongfully done.
Well, that could be true.
All right, well, you know, that was a take.
In what context? In what context?
In what context? I mean, every treaty that we forced them to sign, we then went and broke it and then forced them further and further off of their land.
Yeah, that's called winning, as Charlie Sheen would say.
Yeah, but I would say my stance is generally the
So
Davy.
you broke our treaty, Charlie Sheen. He says, yeah, I'm winning.
They frequented that land. It wasn't even.
That was a great clip
Jack,
that you butchered.
Jack, I love that word that you used. I will use that from now on.
I think we just got to we got to come to a new social contract. And one of those questions is, does might make right? Does might make right?
Well,
If you can
I
take
guess a
it-
follow-up question. I guess a follow-up question, Mihai, is
Well,
what
I'm
would
saying
it look
this
like
to
if
Mihai.
we lost? What would it look like if we lost and the Native Americans won? Like, how would they treat
No,
us?
don't
Would
even
they-
put it
would
in
they
that
be
context. Just let
fair?
Mihai explain himself as to why he thinks they were wrongfully done. You guys
as
didn't
soon
let
as
him
you're
explain.
done talking, I think you might.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, we broke every treaty that we forced them to
I was
sign
right.
ourselves.
I was right,
I
Michael.
mean, it was actually ruled on by the Supreme Court. I think it was 2020. I think it was during COVID. Oklahoma actually is supposed to belong to the Native Americans. It's not even supposed to be a state. And actually 51% of the state to this day is a Native American reservation. Ruled on by the Supreme Court. But that was only put back in place as of, like I said, 4 years ago.
So that's why on all maps now that portion of Oklahoma is has that dotted line around it. Okay, I was wondering why it all changed in the last 2-3 years. That makes sense.
My stance is generally just more so towards the Davy Crockett stance, where we made a promise and we shook their hand and then we broke that promise. And then we made another promise.
I didn't promise shit.
Then we shook their hand.
Yeah,
And then we broke that promise.
I mean, from a moral
And then you're acting like we didn't force them onto reservations. We didn't force them into our school systems. We didn't force them to not be able to leave and not get jobs and not make money and only be poor.
Yeah, we did do that, and I'm saying we should say you're correct. You are correct in your assessments, as Michael would say. Native Americans who are assessing, as Michael likes to. You're correct.
I mean,
you're correct.
I don't
Enjoy your
disagree with-
casino.
I don't disagree with any of that, except for the fact that, okay, that happened, yeah. And we won. That's most of the time, unfortunately, when people win, there is.
Well, no, okay. So
moral
joking
ramifications.
aside, though, so me, I asked it conquering is wrong morally.
No.
But in this case, it is.
No.
No, there's just a human.
That's not the point I'm making at all. The point I'm making.
If you would shoot somebody in the face, that's more honorable than deceiving them with words. You're saying?
Dr. Tetanus, Cherokee family members might simply makes.
Might makes.
Oh.
Might makes.
I think there's a point to be made that.
No, the point I'm making is not anything to do with us taking the land. Is the continued brutalization.
Well, okay.
Post us taking the land.
Maybe I'm wrong, but so would the microcosm thought experiment of that, the very small.
No, John. What is more evil, to kill a man or to torture him slowly and then kill him?
So
that's what I was going to say, but it's not torturing slowly, because at the moment you would say you're going to make this deal with them, up until the moment you break it, they're that guy from the Matrix who says ignorance is bliss. Like when you slaughter a cow, do you send it through a conveyor system where it gets really stressed out, or do you send it through one where it stays oblivious until the moment the blade slices across its neck? Which one is more humane?
Depends on your profit margins.
No, but we are also capitalists.
Well, the system is developed in a way that is as humane as possible for the cow, mostly because it makes the meat taste better. But let's pretend like it's because we're nice. Yeah, so it's easier to slaughter a bunch of cows if they don't know it's coming. And that also minimizes the amount of time that cow is stressed out.
Ties back to the Mihai, you realize this ties back to the argument in a way
There's no need to
of the death penalty, right?
No, let's stay on topic.
There's no.
No.
He's
So I actually
against
agree
himself.
with Mihai somewhat, actually.
Dude, don't even fucking go there, because you argue against the point you made in that show like 5 different times today.
Oh, yeah, but I actually agree with Mihai. But I would actually contest that, it's shifting away from the original conversation. Like how they're treated afterwards is a different conversation. Like, you have examples of where the Native Americans were treated like shit. They were not treated as regular citizens. Like Killers of the Flower Moon, you have examples of that where
it's the whole reason Davy Crockett resigned from Congress.
Were killed. Like, members of the Osage Nation
I thought that was the
were
Alamo.
just killed.
You can all go to hell, but I'll go to Texas.
He did say that. That is a alleged quote. Alleged. The reason he stepped down from Congress because he was boys with Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson was his commanding officer in the war against the Indians. Davy Crockett led the militia and the backwoods country boys from Tennessee that ended up actually being the ones that really took out all the Indians.
Mm-hmm.
And Davy Crockett himself personally brokered the deal to make peace with the Indians and allow them to keep their lands. And when Andrew Jackson went behind Davy Crockett's back and broke that deal with the Trail of Tears, that is what forced Davy Crockett to resign from Congress. Sorry, none of you guys have ever watched Fess Parker's Davy Crockett.
Killed himself a bar when he was only 3.
Yeah.
So you're wrong. Some of us have watched it.
I don't know if you have. I think you just know the song.
I think the moral lesson might have gone over my head, but damn it, I watched it.
It's honestly, every kid should watch it. Talk about morals, foundation for morals, Davy Crockett.
The United States isn't the first and won't be the last to renege on a promise.
No.
And the Indians did plenty of that themselves.
Comparing yourself to others doesn't necessarily lead to personal growth.
No, but it does make you kill a lot of people, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, I mean, I'm not saying other people haven't done the same thing.
Like, if I wanted to be
in
the
history.
greatest quarterback of all time, like Tom Brady, like, I'd compare myself to other people. Like, that guy threw more touchdowns than me. I need to do better. Well, I just assumed that's what our very honorable and champion-like ancestors were doing in America. It's like, that guy killed more Indians than me. And like Tom Brady's great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather probably was a just beast at killing Indians because he had that mindset. He went to his employer at the fort, Mr. Roberto Crafto the first.
No, like I get like the people who came here first and they had to fight the Indians.
Was like, Colonel Kraft, I'm the best decision you've ever made.
But at a certain point, when we have like steam engines, train tracks going across the country, do we still need to keep systematically exterminating them, or can we allow them to?
I mean, it's a
dark
thing, but the serious answer, I think it's always was just a path of least resistance. Whatever was going to accomplish the European goals in the most efficient way possible is what they did. And yeah, I would agree. They didn't really give two shits about how the Indians felt about that. And is that wrong? Yeah,
and so to bring it back to my initial argument, would you not agree that of all minority groups in America, the most wrongfully done are the Indians?
I disagree.
Yeah,
I disagree. I mean, I agree with a lot of the stuff you're saying, but
that's because you're black.
Yeah, I don't know, sure.
Indians got it way worse than the slaves. How often do you see a Native American out on the street these days?
There weren't that many of them.
How often do you see a black person? A lot more often?
Okay.
Who had it worse?
Whatever.
There you go. There's your answer. She knows it. You can see it.
I agree with a lot of
disappointed.
I mean, there were more Native Americans than the 2 million slaves that were reported.
The Irish.
Can I talk?
No, because then you might make a good point and I'll lose.
Okay.
So no,
the
you
Irish
can't.
are the most persecuted.
There you go. Whoever looks the most like this face was the most persecuted, is the way I'm going to put it.
Yep.
I do think going back on promises and stuff like that, it's pretty weak. To be fair, though, I don't really see how the way of living that many of the tribes had would have meshed with the way America was. Like, so they're just supposed to.
What is the way America is? Is it not the whole idea of America that anyone can live the way they want to live?
No, and I am not pro that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not pro that. I mean, that's why you guys went to Charleroi. We could go back to the Charleroi episode with the Haitians and all that. There has to be limits. I am not pro what Andrew Jackson did, Trail of Tears, all that other stuff. And I'm not just gonna sit here and be like, boom, they were conquered, or whatever. Bringing the disease and all that, it was terrible. I totally agree.
Well, yeah, it should be noted that 70% of them.
I'm sorry,
Michael, shut the fuck up. Should be noted that 70% of them died because of disease, and that's nothing that we could control.
Yeah, I know.
That was not intentional, so I will concede that.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, I agree that there are probably more humane ways.
That was what I was going to say.
It's easier to chop a fishy coral, says Fredericksburg, Texas, 1847 is the only unbroken treaty.
I'm gonna fact check that.
Yeah, I mean, there were definitely better ways that they could have done this, but this idea that that was worse than slavery is just a little bit harder for me to swallow. So, I mean, that's it. That's all I had to say. That's all. The only thing we disagree on. If Native Americans were slaves, there's so many African Native American
Treaty with Delaware is Fort Treaty.
How did you become the Capital One Bank guy?
You mind?
There's definitely more than just that one.
What are we looking at all those times those dirty Indians lied to us?
Yeah.
Just guessing.
So the one he even said isn't even on here. So, or wait, is this the one? This is the one he was talking about right here.
This Indian supremacist propaganda.
So he brought the most recent one, right?
What? I shouldn't have just jumped in right
Nah, the point. Some guy said there was only one treaty that was broken, and I just put up like 20. So
That was unbroken.
Well, this is mildly related. Well, this is actually not that super related. For whatever reason, being Native American is just like inherently 90s to me.
That is the most
1990s.
racist thing I've ever heard.
No. And I've said this to many of my friends.
Racism's killing me inside.
It's not sure whatever you say. It's just so 1990s to me. And I think for me, it's because a lot of our textbooks growing up were like from the mid 90s, and there were so many Native Americans in our textbooks, like wearing the coolest like ski gear. I'm being very I'm being very serious.
I believe
right
they
now.
are called Inuit.
You talking about Eskimos? You fucking
I'm not talking about
racist fuck?
Eskimos. I'm not talking about
They were
Eskimos.
so happy in their houses of ice.
No, it was very nice.
And their sleds and their dogs.
It's like they had the
And
diversity.
then the white man came to Florida.
They had the diversity.
White men come,
They had the
take
white
all
kids.
our land.
They had the kids who
His
were like.
greed knows no bounds.
Thank you, Matthew Rice. The mid '90s were great. They had the Native Americans. They had
Black
the
woman don't
Hispanics,
stop.
They had black people. They had white people. But it was
Black
just
woman
like,
talk lot.
There was like
No combat role for you.
That was okay.
What's that? What's that movie clip with Sitting Bull and the fucking
The general.
Oh yeah, I'll find that. I'll put that.
That is actually a great rebuttal to this Native American nonsense.
Yes, because there's definitely not any sort of bias in that movie.
Wait, you know
There's
a lot
a bias for sure towards truth.
What movie was it?
Definitely no artistic
Jack,
liberties were
what movie
taken in
was
that
that
movie.
again?
What movie is that?
I'm linking it right now. Look at it. Look under my name, Mihai.
I got you.
What's the movie name?
Yeah, what is
Jack?
it called?
Okay, it is called. Sorry, give me a second. Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee.
Oh yes,
Sitting
I should have
Bull.
remembered that.
Wounded
Bury my
Knee,
heart at
yeah.
Wounded Knee.
Yeah,
Bury
first
My
link
Heart.
under my name.
I still need to watch that movie in full.
What's the movie from the '90s where a white guy gets cursed by an Indian?
It's every white movie.
Talking about holes?
No.
Thinner.
No.
It's a Stephen King. It's a Stephen King movie, like Thinner. I think it's called.
Yeah, and he starts dying. I watched
Yeah.
it as a kid.
All right, here we go. Everything I have to say on
Thank you,
this
Jack.
topic
Thank you,
is
Jack.
said by
You're
the
the best, Jack.
American
Thank you,
guy
Jack.
in this scene. Did they kill that innocent bear? Racist Indians. I'd already be I'd be like, we got chairs, guys. You want chairs? We have them.
Sitting Bull requested this council. We await his words.
Take your soldiers out of here. They scare the game away.
Very well, sir. Tell me then, how far away should I take my men?
You must take them out of our lands.
What precisely are your lands?
These are the lands where my people lived before you whites first came.
I don't understand. We whites were not your first enemies.
Spanish.
Why don't you demand back the land in Minnesota where the Chippewa and others forced you from years before?
The Black Hills are sacred land given to my people by Wakantonka.
Not very convenient to cloak your claims in spiritualism. And what would you say to the Mormons and others who believe that their God has given to them Indian lands in the West?
I would say they should listen to Wakantonka.
No matter what your legends say, you didn't sprout from the plains like the spring
Give me that
grasses.
tism, white man.
And you didn't coalesce out of the ether.
Give me that tism.
You came out of the Minnesota woodlands, armed to the teeth, and set upon your fellow man. You massacred the Kiowa, the Omaha, the Ponca, the Oto, and the Pawnee without
the
mercy.
Pawnee.
And yet you claim the Black Hills as a private preserve bequeathed to you by the Great Spirit.
And who gave us the guns and powder to kill our enemies?
Oh, now he blames.
And who traded weapons to the Chippewa and others who drove us from our home?
Chief Sitting Bull, The proposition that you were a peaceable people before the appearance of the white man is the most fanciful legend of all. You were killing each other for hundreds of moons before the first white stepped foot on this continent. You conquered those tribes, lusting for their game and their lands, just as we have now conquered you for no less noble a cause.
This is your story of my people.
This is the truth, not legend.
Tizzle.
That's great.
Pretty much it. You can stop it.
All the tribes should have just united, and they probably would.
They did.
No.
I don't know. I don't know.
They sided against each
That's
other.
literally the whole point of that movie.
You haven't dealt with genuinely openly racist white supremacists yet, because there's no amount of uniting you can do.
Well, I mean,
Totally
Our racism is too strong.
well, I mean, call it they.
So the media would have you.
One of the major battles when they united, if I correct me if I'm wrong, Mihai, was literally the Battle of Little Bighorn, where they killed Custer and all of his men in a massacre because Custer was stupid, even though he was a Civil War hero. Custer.
I think there's a spectrum of.
That's such a
unison.
sad day.
There's a spectrum of.
I think Colonel Miles had some good points, and I'd like to hear some of you refute them, which is that before the white people ever arrived, they were killing and conquering all the lesser tribes. They ain't around anymore. Where did they go?
But also
general
at the same
conservative take. I mean,
But then also at the
That's
same
what
time,
happened.
part of the point.
I know.
Also at the same time,
They
he's
also
right.
didn't magically and mystically get some sort of manifest destiny. They didn't get crowned by some godlike being
No,
that
because
gave
they
them
have
an
a Lord.
entitled.
And the Lord is Jesus Christ, and they need to bow down to the West and Jesus Christ.
Anywhere you
Jesus
go
Christ
in
and the
that
West are
time,
not
those people
synonymous.
had some sort of mandate of heaven to be entitled to that land, and
Yep.
they had killed a bunch of other people in order to get it. And it's the same in Europe. It was the same in the Middle East at that time. It was the same anywhere else.
I don't disagree with anything in that
Were
video.
there spiritual and religious Native Americans? Yeah, I'm sure there were. Were there power-hungry leaders? No, they were just like our leaders. That's why they lost.
Yeah, but John, I
They
don't
tried
think
to hold on to
who's,
power.
Who's disagreeing with that?
But
against-
John, I don't think Mihai's point is he has a problem of how we acquired
Yes,
land. It's what we
Dr.
did to the
Tetanus.
natives afterwards. I think that's the main contention here.
Okay, hold on. Dr. Tetanus. Custer was actually probably one of the most retarded military leaders we ever had in our life. I don't know if you know this, but he actually invaded fucking Canada without anyone's permission and almost sent us to war with Britain.
Sounds awesome.
I'm talking about him from the Civil War. Afterwards, when he was doing all those, afterwards when he went to war with the Native Americans, he really could have, I don't know, not done what Mihai just said and not have gotten his whole force massacred at the Battle of Little Bighorn, one of the most embarrassing moments in American history. Just a thought, just a little thought.
It was
Embarrassing.
It was great though. It was actually awesome though.
What? That every American in that whole army got killed at the Battle of Little Bighorn.
He dominated. Still killed more of them.
In the Civil War, he dominated. Yes, Custer was a great leader in the Civil War.
He was like, "This is how I feel going out today. Let's just go. Let's the 6 of us go fight the Sioux."
We should have started with Custard and then gone on to
Custard?
Canada.
Well, name one great thing that
Colonel
Custer.
Custard.
Name one great thing that Custer did in the Civil War.
Are you talking to me? I don't know anything. I've
Killed
never
Indians,
heard
I
his
guess.
name before today. I'm just putting
He was
myself out
associated with Grant and out in the West, and he took over once Grant had left the West to continue.
Once Grant won the West.
He finished and continued.
If you
fighting
don't
to
like
make sure the
mass
West was
murderers, you
liberated.
can't like Grant
Well,
all that much.
liberated,
I prefer
not
Sherman.
Really liberated, but I mean Sherman. No. Sherman was objectively probably the
He
best.
killed
leader.
Americans, so he was awesome.
He didn't give a fuck.
Well, no, Sherman. No,
He was like, "Is that human being in front of me? Kill it."
objectively speaking, Sherman
was
was the
fed up.
most. Sherman was
We're
the most.
going to the sea, boys.
Sherman was the most effective general of the war. He was. Because the fact of the matter is, when you go to war, the thing that people don't want to talk about is that there are going to be, if you extend the war out forever, if you have all of these
I would say
laws
Robert E.
and
Lee
all
was
of
probably
this-
the most effective.
and all of these other things that going into it, then like you were never going to finish a war. You have to cripple an enemy quickly and effectively. And honestly, that is what Sherman did. The fact of the matter is, the South probably would have kept going if for a while longer if Sherman had not marched through the South, basically torching their version of the Ukrainian wheat fields.
Why are
That
you
was
staring
devastating.
at me while you're telling this story?
Because you're the one who was like, yeah. Well, like,
Yeah, well, all the only point I've made this whole time, although I've said some very horrible things, but I assumed you know I was somewhat joking,
is that it's just, one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter, so they say. It's just which side of the fence are you on? That's who the good guy is. And at least
Is that John Amos?
I think I'm the only one applying my moral standards equally across all situations.
This video here. I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but it sums up my moral standards.
Okay.
Hunter, you hunt Indians. Only because you made war on us. Your chiefs, the smart ones, have give up. They found out that war's no good. White man talk. War no good because soldiers all die. Habija gets to hunting. How many Creek warriors have died? How many women are crying for their men? How many of you young'uns ain't got no fathers? You talk like woman. Well, I'm talking sense and you know it. You're brave, Red Stick, and your warriors is brave.
Red Stick?
But in the end, they're all going to die because you're a bad chief.
A Disneyland series. Wow, shocking.
Because I take many white scalps. Because soon I burn white man's friend. Well, worked on a bar.
Joking.
Machete Man.
How much of this shit are we watching?
Yeah. Promise is no good. Ready to listen to reason now, Red Stick?
Come on, Red Stick.
I listen.
Is it Red
Turn my friend loose and lay down your arms.
Dick.
Join the other chiefs in the treaty. Do that, and I promise the government will let you go back and live in peace on your own lands. Promise is no good. White government lie. Davy Crockett don't lie.
Oh, this was your whole fucking point.
Here's my hand on it.
My God. This documentary, Mihai, has
Why you don't kill
brought me over to your side.
Maybe because of another law. We have trouble living up to it. Ain't bad for red man or white man alike. Thou shalt not kill.
Now we gotta look up who produced this.
Disney. It says down below. It was a Disneyland series.
No, I mean like what they.
Yeah, the point I'm trying to make is we kicked their ass, we fucking destroyed them, and then we told them we would stop doing it. So is there glory in continuing to kick a man while he's down?
No, but the reality is that the individual, Davy Crockett, who makes that promise and very much meant it, intended to keep it, became himself. They all became victims of the bureaucratic machine.
Yeah. And so the point I'm trying to make is you guys saying that what we did to the Indians is not wrong is you being on the side of the bureaucratic machine.
Actually think it was it. There's two sides to it.
Also,
like
I'm going to disagree with that because I don't think the bureaucracy in the modern sense could apply to that bureaucracy then. And they're fundamentally two different
There's no one person you can point to that said this guy killed all the Indians. That's there is a bureaucracy though you can point to.
Well, yes, but it's different from modern bureaucracy.
Well, part of the point of the bureaucracy is to protect its own individual members from those kind of criticisms.
Not to get too deep in the weeds in you, but you could technically blame all the Indians that died from disease on a single guy who came from Constantinople after the fall and brought the Black Plague to all the Europeans.
What a dick.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it all comes down to.
Honestly, if you want to be pedantic about it, you can blame one rat that had one flea.
Yeah, that had one flea on it.
Yeah, that fucking rat. That fucking flea. Fucking fleas. What's a racist term for fleas? Because I hate them.
But what happens?
Flickers.
Flea.
Flick those fucking flickers.
But what happens if,
Fleas,
say,
yeah.
it happened to two people
Fur
at once?
suckers?
Two rats at once. There was not a single blamable rat.
Then there's 2 blamable rats. You thought that was going to trip me up? Then both of those fucking losers. Solved your conundrum.
By the way, what's a derogatory term for a rat? A mouse?
Rat.
And you call a mouse a rat?
Thing with flea.
You ever walked into an Indian casino?
A what casino?
Indian.
Why are there rats?
No, it's weird. They have a weird greeting system. You ever seen it?
Do you know? So here's the true story. Do you know the? You ever watch the World Series of Poker, the older ones, like the Texas Hold'em championships?
No, I mean, but every time I walk in the doors, I go, "Hey, how are you? Hey, how are you? Hey, how are you?"
I'm sorry I didn't let you set up your incredible joke.
No, I didn't. It's not mine. It's from South Park.
But you know, so if you ever watch old World Series of Poker, there was a famous Asian poker player named Scotty Nguyen, spelled like Nguyen, or whatever you know what I'm talking about.
Nguyen.
So I was in a Native American casino, and that guy's niece took a liking to my brother, like started hitting on him like crazy. She was this Asian girl, and she, long story short, she was like a fucking VIP at this casino. And
High roller.
She gave my brother her like high roller pass or whatever, however that works. And we ate at like 3 different steak restaurants for free. We got all this free shit.
That's hilarious.
It was Scotty Nguyen's niece, if you're out there watching.
They didn't get married and live happily ever after?
No, she was like, we were like fucking 18, and she was like 40.
Ew.
That would have been great news.
Even she had the decency to just give him the card and walk away.
Definitely should have said that at the beginning of your story.
Yeah, Scotty Nguyen. There's Scotty Nguyen. That's pronounced Win, apparently.
Is it bad that I don't know who this person is?
No, I mean, well, if you were into...
yeah, he's pretty popular.
If you watch Texas Hold'em, you know...
Do you know Ivy, the poker?
Oh, Phil Ivey, yeah, he's incredible. He's autistic as fuck.
Do you know Ben Mitz?
Sure he is.
I don't know him.
Okay.
I was playing poker yesterday.
But anyway...
Oh, yeah, you told me.
This dude's niece. Thank you for the steaks.
Okay.
Thank you for not being too creepy. You were a little creepy, but then you just gave us free shit and then left. And so thank you.
Currently 20. It's currently.
You can go.
No. I'm
Follow
just saying
your
that,
heart.
Well, hold up, real quick. For everyone on X, have a good night.
Oh yeah, it is ending at.
Yeah. For everyone.
Actually,
on X.
that's not true. I think it goes as long as we want it to, and we start it the way that we did.
Yeah, it's actually, yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Welcome back, everyone on X.
They all left now.
We didn't go.
Yeah, how many people is anybody even still subjecting themselves to this punishment at this point?
We do.
I'm sorry to all of you. Spearhand, David Olerking, I'm very sorry.
So if you're
John
still
Galt?
here, if you're still here and you're not subscribed to the... I'm surprised no one called.
I don't think you put it up long enough for anybody to call.
Call now, 202-922-7770. Call now.
Right, now
If
you
you're
get
still
one more
here
beer.
and you're not subscribed to the Ciderhaus YouTube channel, then what are you even doing?
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Yeah, reminder from like 17 hours ago that Ciderhaus has its own channel spelled like you see it above, at Ciderhaus Show, SHOW, on YouTube if you want to find it. Also on Twitter or X or whatever. 500 subscribers, we can give out memberships over there. We can give them out for free even, but then we can make the chat fun over there on Ciderhaus.
Yeah, but the only way we're going to see like a massive increase in subscribers is if we primarily just live stream through there and not through John's channel.
We're doing okay, buddy. We're already at 105.
I don't know if that's true.
Okay.
We're getting like 50 an episode, so that's not bad.
Oh, the last episode was Indiana Jones themed.
Call now.
Raiders of the Lost Nuke. I think we did better on that very first one because a bunch of people went over there, but then realized, their membership perks had vanished, and so they came back.
What are the perks?
You can set, like, I have custom emojis. If you're a member on the John Ward channel, you can send, like, the Pepes and that shit. You see how their names are green? Case in point. What's going on, Zeb?
Zeb, call in. Say hi.
Highlighted name in the chat. If you're a channel member, you get the badge. So white means 6 months or longer if their little Harambe is white. Excuse me. There's one blue one out there. That's a year.
All right.
Who is it?
There's Tingley. Tingley is the only blue one, I think.
All right.
Since you asked.
Yeah, I was wondering if you knew. I had a couple guesses though on it. Just regular faces.
Well, John, are you good?
No, I need a cigarette.
202-922-7770. Call now with the morning crew.
That really should connect you if you want to call in and have any thoughts if you're still watching.
800-888-2377.
Call now. 202-922-00.
You probably waited. Oh, there you go.
Oh, I'm scared.
Oh, God.
Hello, sir.
What's up?
Is this Zeb?
This is Zeb.
What's
How
going
you
on,
doing?
Zeb?
Hey, let's go.
What's up, boys and lady?
Hi.
Hanging in there.
The phone call. I saw y'all live earlier, and I stopped in for like a few seconds. Y'all been live what, for like 3 hours a day?
Yeah. No shit.
Dude.
What have you been talking about? It's kind of slow news time. I feel like Christmas being on a Wednesday, everyone's kind of checked out.
Well, drones are covering up. Everything else is going on. I don't know.
Yeah, they sure are.
True. What are your thoughts on the drones?
It's a little of a,
Yeah, Zeb, what is...
a little bit of a distraction.
Yeah, just
don't know, I'm
purely
not
a
worried about the
distraction?
drones.
You're just not worried about it?
Say again?
Is our volume low?
Yes, very low.
Oh.
How about now?
Interesting.
How about now?
Nah, yeah, same.
It might be, Mihai, that might be in Skype itself. I don't know if it has individual volume controls.
Huh.
But Zeb, well, we got you. I know you're building out a studio down there. How's that coming along?
It's going. Putting up the siding on the outside right now.
Nice.
Excited. It's bigger than I thought it would be, so I think I can fit about 3 sets in there.
Wow.
And when I finish this build out, I want to send you this desk, and I've scoured the internet for it, and I haven't come across anybody that's built something like it. Basically, I want to build a Megatron production desk. It's going to house 4 cameras, a viewable monitor from one side, Mac Mini on one side, Rodecaster, and then you'll have, right now we got 3 mic inputs, but 4 eventually probably. Then we can add another camera to it. But instead of putting it on casters where it's unstable, we're going to put it on sliders, and hopefully it'll stabilize. But anyway, and you can slide it around, and like I said, you have 3 setups that I haven't moved tripods around. You can just slide the desk. Might look like a little Frankenstein, but
Yeah, no, that sounds pretty. Do you? When do you expect to be up and running?
I want to be able to live stream the inauguration. So what's that, January 20th?
Oh, you think you'll be that soon?
Yeah, so the building should be done first week of January. I'll have to move in and get everything set up, which shouldn't take forever.
You guys can build down there this time of year. I forget.
Do what now?
I said down where you're at, you guys can actually build this time of year. I forgot about that. I was like, how the hell are you building it?
Dude, I was wearing short sleeves today. So.
Fuck you.
Come on down and bring everybody with you, man. We can definitely we'll all pile in the studio for sure.
We 100% are going to do that at some point, especially when you get up and running. We'll come do a show from down there. But I think we're a couple months out. We got a bunch of new stuff ourselves coming in January.
This is something I was thinking for here.
That's
something
pretty
along
sick.
those lines.
We will definitely get down there, Zeb. We'll do some kind of show for sure from your new place when it's ready to go.
I think that'd be awesome, brother.
Sweet. Good deal. I don't mean to dominate the conversation. Anybody have any questions for Zeb? Zeb Boykin, Boykin, on YouTube, Twitter, if you're wondering.
Yeah, Zeb, what are your thoughts? We were just talking about the Nick Fuentes doxing and a guy who killed 3 other people coming over to his house to kill him. But yeah, do you think we're going to see an increase of attacks like that on not just like dissident figures, but just anyone these crazies think is a Nazi, quote unquote?
Could you hear that, Zeb?
No, somebody's gonna have to repeat it for me.
Oh,
okay.
What are your thoughts on the Nick Fuentes doxing and overall? Do you think it's
Well, yeah, obviously doxing's bad. and it should definitely be enforced a lot better than it is. Twitter has a really bad doxing issue that I thought Elon would get a hold of, but he obviously hasn't.
It's terrible. It's fundamentally anti-free speech.
The general thoughts on Nick Fuentes. I mean, I don't mind him. I think he's had some really, really bad optics going back to allying with the Muslims. I mean, I think that was the off ramp for him. I don't know. I think he's got a lot on his plate right now. The doxing is just another one added to it. I mean, I saw the video of the guy that showed up to his house with a gun, but I mean, I haven't really followed up on it too much. He made it sound like he shot him, but I don't think that's what happened.
No. He did make it seem like that, but I doubt it.
The cops got him somewhere else, I think, is what happened. So.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, I
probably
think
in
that's
hell.
what happened also. I mean, I can't imagine that would happen and he would still be able to tweet it out, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, something like that happens in Chicago, especially somebody like him. He's going to spend some time behind bars, whether it's just or not. But
Yeah,
the
that's a good
doxing
point.
issue is real bad. I mean, even from the pepper spray to the one, well, I guess last night. And then he allied with Muslims. You know, I mean, back in 2018 when he was doing his, he was on his own. I think he was on D Live and a couple others. I mean, I watched it pretty regularly. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call myself a groyper, but I definitely have an understanding of where he comes from.
Yeah.
And I think it's there. I mean, there's something there. There's definitely a search for meaning. Even on niches like the reform world. I mean, people are looking for something other than boomer leaders that have been leading them down the same road for the last 50, 60 years. And Fuentes is just capitalizing on that. It's not been the leader in that market.
Yeah, there are certainly a lot of aspects to Nick Fuentes that people are worth disliking. But still, like I can't get over like how prevalent doxing has become, because if we were doxed, like that would directly affect the show and the studio. Like I think we would have to completely shut it down and move it, right, John?
Oh wow.
Something. Hey Zeb, I'm gathering that you can't hear Jack when he talks. Is that true?
Yeah, I need a translator. Can we get a translator in here?
Well, so I think it's the first time we've ever had Skype and Zoom both going at the same time. Clearly, so Jack's in on Zoom and you're on Skype and you can't hear each other. So we'll get that figured out.
Real quick, y'all. Apparently the Hawk Tour girl might have killed herself.
Stop! No way.
What?
All right.
No way.
No.
Well,
way.
let's let Zeb get on with his day here, so we only have one thing going on. So Zeb,
You just broke Zeb's heart, though.
we just heard the Hawk Tua girl might have offed herself, so we're gonna go check that out. But thank you for
It
calling in.
was a little trend going on Twitter.
Yeah, and I'll definitely be in touch here at the beginning of the new year. We'd very much like to come down to see you at your new studio when you have it built. That'd be awesome.
Yes, sir, Zeb.
Okay. So I'm seeing an article right now.
Jack, hold on.
Jack, a crypto project.
Jack, hold on. So Zeb, we'll talk to you. We'll talk to you later.
I think he left.
Was I the first one to call in?
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, we're getting towards the end of the show.
Dude.
Hey, we
Me,
appreciate it, though. I gotta
was
let you go
flashing.
before all these autists start screaming at me again. But hey, you take it easy.
Yeah, we'll see you in the new year,
Later,
Zeb.
boys.
Later.
Yeah, take it easy. man.
There's a
All right, go ahead and shut down Skype. Just close it. And then let's bring this up and see what happened, and that'll be the a good place to end it, I think.
Oh,
Be a really
I don't think
sad-
anything happened.
I didn't see anything. That'd be a really sad
Yeah.
place to end.
All I'm seeing is that she's being sued. I didn't see anything.
Okay,
any post
good.
about it.
Wait,
all
what are
I'm
you at?
saying-
Wait, who? Michael was the one who said that? Where'd
Yeah.
you see that or hear that?
I saw like 2 posts consecutively on Twitter.
Yeah.
I didn't take much. I wasn't obviously. I haven't
Those
seen an
sources
article.
that you trust, huh?
Well, people are saying
No,
that she's
I
gone
didn't. No,
missing.
okay. Remember, I saw. Okay. My God. I saw it from 2 different people on Twitter who I don't follow, so I don't know what their validity is, and that's why I was out there for so long, because I was looking it up to see if it was true. It was not. Like,
Well, there
was
are
nothing
stories.
else.
I hope.
so,
I pray it's not true, but there are stories that she's gone "quote unquote" missing. So that's
She hasn't. So when her Hawk Tua coin, she had the Twitter Spaces thing or whatever with CoffeeZilla in it. She ended it early, saying she was going to bed. The thing is, she hasn't. The joke is she's been in bed now for like 320 hours.
It's like Swan Marcus on Twitter. He predicted all that Kamala would win, but then after Georgia went red, he went on a long walk, and he's been on that walk ever since Election Day. Yeah.
Dang, the chat's just like pranking us. Ozzy Osbourne's dead. That's crazy. He's not dead. Why would you say that?
One of my favorite things.
I would not be surprised though. Ozzy's getting old.
Joking about people dying.
One of my favorite things I used to be able to do before the Queen of England actually did die was just walk up to any random group of girls and go, "Did you guys just hear? Queen Elizabeth died." And I go, "Oh no!
Well,
Really?
You can do that with a celebrity. I feel. You can do that with a celebrity. They do that.
Not Lizzie. Not Lizzie.
Well, you can do that with a celebrity. Like you can say that.
Also,
Anthony
by the
Hopkins
way,
died, yeah.
38 conservatives voted against the bill passing. One of them was from my congressman, Scott Perry. Let's go. There are some good names on that list of people who voted against that from passing. There were 38 conservatives that voted against it. 2 liberals voted for it, but altogether there was not enough votes for that bill to pass, so it got stopped.
Good.
Only 38 people, only 38 House members, though, dared to.
Okay,
that's
crazy.
not great.
Apparently, Trump is calling for Chip Roy to resign. What do you guys think about that?
Yes. Chip Roy's annoying. He's fluctuates so much between good and just utterly terrible. Now, granted, they've hated each other for a long time, so...
Yeah. But Mike Pence has spoken out against that. What do you think about that?
Well, okay, so that makes me more suspicious now.
Exactly. Those are exactly
Chip Roy. Ew. Now, Chip Roy does look much better with that beard now. I'm happy he, just like J.D. Vance, grew that beard. Anyway, it looks like we're going to be heading out here, y'all.
Who are you to just do that? I had stuff.
Because the man himself told me to cut it off.
No,
You guys can keep going if you want to. I just feel like we're just bouncing all over the place right now.
No,
It is 9 right now.
Let's call it a night. What do you say? So we will be back next Tuesday, Mihai? You gonna do another
Next Tuesday? Yeah, we'll be back here.
What about Monday?
Tuesday. What about Monday?
I mean, not Monday. Saturday. After the game.
Well, I don't know that we know what our plan is for Saturday because all these college football new playoff games are going on. So we're definitely going to watch those. That starts at noon. I don't know what this camera angle is. There
I
you
said
go.
after the game.
Yeah. Well, what? I don't know what time that's going to be.
Okay.
The game's at noon, but I won't.
Well, I mean, yeah, but there's other games after that. There's like one every hour or some shit.
Hopefully we win.
I'm going to be watching some of that, but maybe we'll do some kind of, I don't know, stream or something.
Well, I won't see you guys probably for a while, so Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa.
How'd your finals go?
The whole thing. I survived. Dr. Tetanus says R.I.P. Bam Margera.
I believe.
Say that like you don't know who that is.
Yeah, that's pretty
That guy is like very irresponsible with the drug usage. I'll just say that.
I don't know that.
Yeah,
But rest in peace to him.
Ciderhaus does have its own channel now. Reminder, Ciderhaus, spelled like you see it on your screen. It's weird that I wasn't expecting this. I guess I am kind of in the middle.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Kwanzaa to all you black folks with an X. All you
only
Latinx.
the conquered black.
You Latinxes.
Celebrate Kwanzaa.
Don't listen to her. I am much blacker than she is. I have
You can take it.
complete black authority.
Take it.
Between Kala and myself, I am
Take it.
the
Chew
blacker.
it, eat it, swallow it.
I am downright tenebrific.
Also, by the
I
way,
make things darker.
Also, by the way, Mike Johnson, the House Speaker, did vote
That was a
for the
correct
bill.
word for that, by the way.
Disappointed, Mike Johnson.
So Ciderhaus, throw us a follow. When we get to 500 subscribers, we'll start throwing out memberships like candy, so you can do fun things on that chat, custom emojis, blah blah blah. Also on Twitter, Cider Haus Show, Ciderhaus Show. Come follow us over there. If not, at least for a while, we'll be broadcasting the show on the John Ward channel. Anything else I missed? We're going to be playing some games with these super chat goals. Mihai chugging the old helmet of shame. That was a good time. We'll have to clean that helmet out.
Not for him, though.
Not for him. That's the whole point of it.
Yep.
That's all I got. So we will be back for sure next Tuesday and Thursday. If that's not Christmas. When's Christmas?
Wednesday.
All right, we'll see.
Ooh, I don't know if I can do.
Yeah, Tuesday might be a
Tuesday
little.
might be tough.
Christmas Eve.
I got to pour concrete.
Yeah. Ooh. All right. Well, we'll keep you posted in the chats one way or another. All you gilded people, I need to get in there and talk to you. Also, I will do that. That's all I got.
Happy Kwanzaa, Matthew Rice.
Happy Kwanzaa, Matthew Rice.
You are running the show, buddy,
Merry
not
Christmas.
All right. I mean, I was waiting for everyone to say goodbye.
Hey, hold on,
John's the
hold
only
on.
one who's going to say
Merry
goodbye.
Christmas, y'all.
Heck, I said goodbye. I mean,
All
he
right.
doesn't listen to me.
Merry Christmas. Everything else is fake. Don't celebrate anything else.
Merry
respect
Christmas,
it.
you filthy animal.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
And a Happy New Year.
And on that note,
And on that
I will call it a show, and I'll say goodbye to everybody. Thank you for joining once again. Ciderhaus on YouTube. Haus is the spelling. Don't forget it. Once you're there, you won't leave. Godspeed, everybody.